like you can make arguments for him to have enough chakra power and everything and scale him over KCM1 Naruto still, even as Pain. Because what a lot of people forget, a lot of people downplay Pain or better yet Nagato and completely like overlook the context of everything and just forget about everything and then just say, oh, this is only what he can do, blah, blah, whatever, yada, yada, and they're just being ignorant. You know what I mean? So it gets to the point where, you know, like if you actually look at overall everything, he came to the village, bodied everyone, then does Chaotic Shinra Tensei, which was the second time of him doing that. We know he's done it once before. It's either once or multiple times because Konan even states that every time he does that jutsu, it weakens and shortens your life, you know, and obviously weakens him. So, like, you're talking about a Pain that's already nerfed from that, okay? Then shows up to the Leaf Village, bodies everybody, then fucking, does the Chaotic Shinra Tensei, then fighting against Naruto at prep time and every fucking thing you can think of in Sage mode, okay? Still doing a very great fucking job against him. Then regains his power, Tendo power, because he didn't have Tendo power that entire fucking time, which would have heavily changed the result of that fight, even after him doing Chaotic Shinra Tensei, okay? And then you literally have the point where fucking, gets his power back, shits on Naruto and everything, fighting V2 Six Tails Naruto after all that as well, then is able to still fucking seal that Naruto, then implies that he can still seal Naruto transform into the Eight Tails transformation, okay? And then after all that, Naruto gets a mental amp, Sage mode, still beats him, stalemates, whatever, and then eventually he just, fucking thought Naruto can't throw the jutsu, so he just went down on his knees, and then fucking Naruto threw it, and he's like, oh shit, caught him off guard, and then he got hit by the Rasengan. You know what I mean? And he could have still been able to get back up, but Naruto took the rods out, and Naruto even states, as long as I take these out, you shouldn't be able to get back up. So, overall, there's that, and you also got to remember that fucking Sage Naruto also is relative and scales directly to KCM1 Naruto as well. You know what I mean? So there's all that establishment. So there's plenty of ways to argue that that Pain is KCM1 level or even over. It's not unreasonable at all. So there's just that. But anyways, but when it comes to like them fighting and everything, if they really came to fight and he's at full power, has access to all his abilities, it's going to be the same result as it happened with Nagato, dude. The only difference was Nagato just having all the abilities to himself. This time it's 6 fucking dead corpses running up and ganging up on him. And then, with the summonings, you name it, the Shinra Tensei, Universal Pull, blah, blah, Naruto's just going to get immobilized immediately. He's not going to be able to do anything. But that's just me, Other people might have a titty attack about that or think I'm crazy, but whatever. Is this Sage? No, that's just that Kabuto. So this Kabuto, KCM. Yeah, so before I even get into all this, I'm going to just... No, we're almost done. I'll finish it off. So it was interesting, because KCM1 Naruto, if he were to fight against this Kabuto, just this form, obviously... KCM1. Yeah, KCM1, like, obviously he has Edo and all that, but I feel like fucking... Like, he'd be able to use his Edos and summon them before he's just getting Speed Blitz. That's just me. And we do know Obito obviously, scales towards the Minato and everything and whatnot. Obviously Minato doesn't have like fucking flying rise and teleportation speed. I'm not saying that, but Minato is, Obito is powerful, and he was able to like at least react to Obito like for one moment, and then he pulls out Edo immediately, and then it goes from there. So if like KCM Naruto pulls up at full power and he's right there, you could argue he straight up just teleports and speed blitzes him before he does summon the Edo, but it's not unreasonable to think that he could react and dodge. Maybe, I don't know, but I do think he'd get speed blitzed. That's just me. What do you think, Loke? Do you think I'm crazy on that?
With Obito?
No, with Kabuto. This Kabuto.
Yeah, but who is the other guy?
KCM with Naruto. Full power.
Well, like KCM1 is fast. Like even one is fast, but
yeah, flash speed. Yeah. Like, Johnny mentioned.
I feel like he's able to blitz him.
Yeah.
Like like if
Now,
it's
if it's
Kabuto
Sage
and
mode, then no.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no.
it's
Hell no. So yeah,
no,
that's what I'm
it
saying.
doesn't have the stage mode on. Doesn't
Yeah,
have the
and
stage
if it's
mode.
Pain, like all the passive pains, I bet it like if it's Tendo Pain pulling up on him, all Pain has to do is fucking Shino Tensei his ass or just pull him. You know what I mean? And then he gets stabbed by the Rob. Like, what does he do? Like, so I don't think this version of Kabuto is gonna be able to beat even Tendo Pain. Like, he just gets sealed in Shippaku Tensei. And if all the passive pains are pulled up, like, they'd also fucking body his ass. Like, so there's that. I even think the summoning pain would be a fucking problem for him, if I'm being honest with you. Like, what does he do about the infinite dog? He would have to summon Itachi as an Edo and use a Mataratsu. That's the only way. But, I don't know, like, that's just that. I don't think this Kabuto's taken these people either. Six Tails Naruto or V2. That's just me. If Kabuto had to fight against him, he's also getting speed blitzed by 4th Raikage. He's getting speed blitzed by 3rd. Sage Naruto is bodying his ass as well. Unless you think he can summon Edo in time, which that's not too unreasonable. So then Sage Naruto would have
He
to...
has a Orochimaru cell, so any attack that bisects him and doesn't completely destroy him, he should regen from.
Yeah.
But you'll give him time to do whatever he needs to do.
So, like I would say he could be able to summon the Edos, and then this Naruto would kind of have issues because now he's having to fight him and the Edos, and I'm sorry, I love Naruto, but I don't think he's beating all that. 5 Kage Sasuke, same thing. Edos, you name it. I don't think he's taking all that. Sage Mode Jiraiya, like, if he does the Genjutsu, he can beat him. That's what I'll say on that. Itachi, sick Itachi, like, unless you think he can fucking, immediately kill him with the Totsuka blade, or fucking, we know he can't put him in Genjutsu. Unless that's only a Sage Mode thing. Is this one have it too, or no? It's only Sage Mode.
I think it's Sage Mode.
It's only Sage Mode, I think. Yeah. So like, if that's the case, then Genjutsu could be a problem for him, and that could open up an opening. Totsuka Blade GG. Same thing with Frog, so they could be able to pull it.
It has to be Sage Mode because even if he closes his eyes,
like, yeah, it was
he
Sage
won't
Mode,
have the sensory. He won't have the sensory.
Yeah, exactly. I think Kasame could actually beat this Kabuto, if I'm being honest with you. Like, if he does the Edos, then Kasame could have a fucking problem. But remember, if Kasame does the fucking bubble, like, the only Edos that he did on Obito was what? Like, unless we're counting, like, all of them in the war, then sure, but I'm mainly thinking of the Akatsuki members he used, so, which would be, what, Datara, Sasori, it was Kakasu, Nagato, and Itachi. Obviously, so if all of them pull up, sorry, I love Kasame, but he's not beating all of those people.
No.
So he loses. Itachi, I think he would just be able to Genjutsu him before he can even do Edo, and then just kills him with Totsuka. That's it. That's just me, though. It's in character. He always takes things seriously and ends it quickly. He would have to do Genjutsu Frog Song. He's going to either just get too overwhelmed or he dies instantly. It's one or the other. Fucking this Choji, I think, could actually be able to body him because he just gets so powerful, like speed, power. He's boxing the Geto statue. We do know his speed gets amped and everything when we saw him with Part 1 using this ability. So I think this Choji would also slap him, but that's just me. I don't know if you think that's too crazy, Loke.
Well, if he's already in that big state, then the bubble shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. 6-gate guy would definitely be faster and be able to fuck him up, but with his regen and healing, I think that would be a problem for Guy, And along with the Edos, like, what the fuck does Guy do? So I don't think he wins that. Amaterasu, Takasasuke, like, yeah, he'll just summon the Edos. They can deal and help. Yeah, that's fine. He loses still. Kakazu, like, come on. He's not beating him in Edos. It's not happening. Everyone else is fine. Obviously, if he's fighting against someone like this, he wouldn't have the sword, but he'd have everyone else. He still loses. Loses. Loses, yeah.
And what about the tail beast?
No, he's not beating them. Well, actually, he does have Itachi. So Itachi could do a Materatsu on every single one, and they all die.
Oh yeah, if we count the Edo
as well.
Huh? Well, yeah, he has Nagato too. Yeah, Chewbacca Tensei and all that. So yeah, so tail beasts are fine. He'd be able to deal with them.
And he has tons of Manda as well that he can summon.
Yeah. Now, if it's just this path of pain, I think he's losing. I don't think he's gonna be able to take all those Edos and him at the same time. That's just me. Don't get me wrong, he's fucking crazy powerful. I don't think he's taking all that. They lose. Yeah.
No.
Fucking yeah. Everything else is fine.
Yeah.
Sakura, Kage. Oh yeah, she's just crazy. Like, she had so much chakra to where it was literally equal to a 6-path Naruto KCM2 Sage Mode clone. Just insane. Just one clone. And she had greater chakra than that fucking clone. Like, I know it's a clone, but come on. Like, we're talking about 6-path Sage Mode KCM2 Naruto, bro. And she had more chakra than that clone, and Obito was like, no, I need you instead. Like, that's just insane. Like, and then also her feat that she did against Kage as well and everything, like, that's pretty impressive because we know Kage has sensory abilities in Precog because, you know, Sage and everything, fucking you know, way more powerful than Madara and Jubito. Like, and she was able to still just get past her, all her sensory shit and the Byakugan as well, and still fucking hit her. Like, it's just crazy. This chakra is no joke, if I'm being honest with you. Like, if I'm really being honest with just how much chakra she has, which is also even more proof that the more chakra you have, the faster, stronger, etc. you can get, even though people really don't believe in that. Fucking, she could be able to easily be able to fucking up KCM1 Naruto. Fucking speed. She could just be able to speed blitz so many characters. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem. She just speed blitzes and one shots. The only people I don't think she can one shot would be, like, you know, V2s. I mean, she can do a lot of damage, but they'll be fine. Unless you think she can one shot V2s and she was able to injure Kaguya, then sure, that's fine too. But she's just crazy fucking powerful, dude. Like, she's no joke. So I think she just basically straight up, like, speed blitzes and one shots a lot of characters. Unless you think Pain, you know, with how much chakra he has and his link vision would be enough to deal with her still, but, you know. That's the only argument you really have for Sakura. It's just her just scaling so much over characters where she just speed blitzes and one shots. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think? Like, during that time, Kaguya?
Like, do you think she's fast? Like, super fast?
Yeah.
You do?
Like, well, no, like, I'm saying, like, do you, like, think she would be very fast or not? Like, I think she would, like, if she has, like, crazy amount of chakra she's been storing. Yeah, like, all that. Like, I'm pretty sure that would equate to speed and power, you name it, yeah, so I don't see why she wouldn't be fast, but I'm just asking, like, what do you think? Do you think it's unrealistic for her to just straight up speed blitz and one shot all the characters below, or?
Hey, maybe not all, but a lot of them.
Okay. So then with this Kasame,
I think that's the one thing I wasn't doing when I made this list.
So I don't know about that. Don't get me wrong, Kasame is crazy powerful. You know, BG level chakra, whatever, called the tailless tail beast.
So the reason why he's as high as he is isn't because of straight up brute power.
Mm-hmm.
It's because a lot of his water attacks ends on Mihara in that form. actually are able to absorb ninjutsu. So a lot of people, once they're in the water bubble, are going to have a problem getting out. If they're out of the
so
water
you're
bubble,
you're keeping in mind that where like if she was in the water bubble, she's basically now holding her breath. Obviously, that limits her mobility as well. And then like if she tries to punch him, she does use chakra with her punches, so he would just absorb it and lessen the impact. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. So most of the time when he's using that, it seems to be like he creates the giant water prism. And if you're in the water prism, you're going to. Okay. So people who are above him have ways to deal with the water prism in some way or another.
So that's fine, and then you could say he scales over. But if you were to argue for her, saying she's just massively more faster and stronger, where even if she is in water, she would just straight up speed blitz and one shot him, then there's that.
There is a version of her that is strong, that I think is stronger, which is the War Arc.
Yeah.
Since that one shouldn't be as exhausted as that one in particular. If it was a fresh Sakura at that point, she definitely would go higher, but because at that point in time in the Kaguya fight she was exhausted is why she's as low as she is. So she's only that way because of fatigue. If it wasn't fatigue, then that'd be different.
Okay, that's fine. KCM Naruto would actually get fucked by him. Fucked. It's not even fair. Pain could be able to win. He'd be able to win.
The reason I have Pain there is because he needs the chakra to get to chakra receivers. And I think the water bubble would mess with that enough to the point where he'd be able to get in one good shot that could get him the win.
Well, it's not even that. Like, even if Pain was in the water bubble, he could just do Shinra Tensei and it just takes care of all that, and that's it.
Well, my problem is, because I was saying this to Loke as well, where I told him, yes, if he could use the Shinra Tensei, that'd be fine, but I think the water bubble and all that would actually stop the receivers from receiving the chakra to move around. So I think it basically becomes just a dead body.
Oh, you're saying that? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, I don't know about all that.
I don't know if
that's a stretch, but it's a good argument.
But I think
it's not
calm
bad.
Down enough.
Like, because you got to remember, those rods are in their body, like hardcore. Yeah. Like, if that was really the case to like really like take care of that, like, I don't know.
Well, it's not because I'm not saying that it would remove them, but because it still has to transmit the chakra to them.
Yeah.
I think it'd be enough to disrupt it just enough that he'd be able to take that opening to take it home.
I don't know about all that, but it's a fair assessment, but yeah, but it's reasonable. But I don't know, like I feel like if this is paid in there, he just Shinra Tensei it and fucking get whatever, negate all of it. It's gone. Fuck him up. It's it. And if it's all the pains in there, like even the absorbing one, he could just absorb the water dome. Like I don't know. Like I feel like Pain will be perfectly fine. Let me see. Like, yeah, I remember, like, Pain had so many fucking statements where he was literally declared the strongest and, like, nobody could disobey, blah, blah, you name it, because, like, it'd be really weird to say this transformation of Kasame could also be able to beat Pain. Like, that would just contradict the narrative and you name it, but, but it's interesting, though. Interesting argument. I've never heard of that one. Because Kasame, yeah, shit's on them. Yep, shit on him. Yep, that's fine. Yep, shit's on him. This is actually interesting, though. Do you think Kasame can absorb particle stop? Well, yeah. Madara did it, right? Yeah. So he should be able to, right?
Yeah, but Madara did it with the Rinnegan.
Yeah, but it's with the Rinnegan, yeah. And then... actually, I don't think he can do that with particle style, if I'm being honest with you. Because, like, even when like, Samahata was used against Itachi's fire style, like, Samahata's, like, smacked Killer Bee because it was really hot, even though he absorbed it. So I think, like, he could be able to absorb particle style, but since he's absorbing it, would actually backfire. You know what I mean? It would just fuck it up and they're dead.
No.
I think they would actually be a hard counter for Kasame if they just do a big ass cube. You know what I mean? Like let's say they're in the water bubble and they just like, all right, particle style, bam, kills them. Like that's just me though. I don't know. They could be able to beat him actually, but unless you don't think particle style takes it, then this would actually be interesting because they could fight against each other. I still feel like Naruto would be able to beat his ass, if I'm being honest with you. But, like, if he starts getting hit by Sage Mode and everything, like, then it gets to the point where, like, if he starts absorbing Naruto's chakra, and like doing the same thing similar to what he did to Killer Bee, like does that actually backfire on Kasame and fuck him over, or I don't know. Like, who do you actually think takes this, Loke? Do you think Seijima Naruto wins or Kasame wins? I'm still going more with Kasame, but I don't know if the nature energy of him absorbing that would actually screw him over.
Oh, since it's this one, the bubble.
Yeah, and the bubble too, yeah. So I'd say Kasame then, because he's gonna. Because like I don't know, like because since Naruto's in the water.
Can Naruto summon the toads?
Yeah, he can. That is true. He could summon
like
the toad.
3 giant toads, and they should all just jump out the water.
Yeah, that is one way to get out. Like, and if Naruto's in the water, like, you could maybe argue because obviously, if you're underwater, that does restrict mobility. You're like, come on, you can go in a fucking pool and it's not rocket science. You know what I mean? So, so what we do know is like his speed's going to be obviously way less and everything, but. Do you think he would be able to react with Sage Mode? Like, he could simply to move whenever Kasame goes to charge? I think Kasame would be too fast for him. I don't think his sensor would allow him to dodge or react since he's in water.
But it might allow him to tank the attacks.
Yeah, definitely to tank it, but not to... I don't think he'd be able to react. But yeah, either way, all he would have to do is just summon the toad and jump out, and that's it. You know, and he's fine. Then it just comes to the point where, like, all right, now it's Seijima Naruto versus just Kasame in the transformation. Don't get me wrong, Kasame is very powerful in this transformation. This one he's at his most strongest. But it's like, whenever this Kasame touches you, he can steal your chakra or, like, absorb your chakra. You know what I mean? So it's like, if he's hitting Seijima Naruto with nature energy, would that fuck him over and turn him into a frog? I don't know.
The thing with the Sage Mode energy is you have to take in enough of it at a time for that to happen. So you can just argue, just like with B, he just does it in such a way that it balances out.
It's interesting.
If that makes sense. So you can just take in just enough that he's able to damage him.
Yeah.
Back off, and then come back and do it again, since he could just do that tactic.
Like, this could go either way. I really feel like it could, if I'm being honest, like, especially when he's doing all his shadow clones and everything, but I'll stick with Kasame just to be on the safe side of things. But I don't know, it's interesting though with if these two were to fight. If it's Sasuke, he's kind of fucked because his Susanoo is chakra, so that's not really good for him. And he could just absorb Amaterasu, unless you think Amaterasu would actually negate Samahada's ability because it's so hot. You know, so then otherwise he would actually lose because of Amaterasu, but I'll let you guys think on that, whatever. Frog Song or summonings or dimension abilities could be able to counter the water bubble. Jiraiya can do. So that could be a problem for him. Tachi, we know that answer already. Like, unless you're like making a Tachi in the water bubble with him, then, you know, the only way a Tachi can really deal with that is just doing Susanoo, but then it is chakra, so like, but like, let's say he charges out Itachi Susanoo and he does the Yatamir, it's just gonna fuck him up anyways, you know, or he could always do the Totsuka Blade, whatever, or,
just who's behind him,
you know, or do his Mangekyo Genjutsu, you know, or better yet, just do like maybe a finger Genjutsu to just temporarily create an opening, you know. I don't know, but fucking, I think Itachi could still be able to beat this Kasame even if he wasn't a water bubble. That's just me though. That's just because, like, fucking, you know, he's just built different. It's Itachi. Like, but I don't know. Like, what do you think on that, Loke? Do you think Sick Itachi could be able to maybe get out of the water bubble and win?
Sick Itachi? Yeah. I don't feel like he would be able to last.
It's interesting because we know Itachi would beat Kasame because he wouldn't allow him to get to this point. But if he got to this point, you know what I mean? Like, it's interesting, you know?
Yeah, but like,
I don't know.
When Itachi...
Can't he evaporate the water with Amaterasu?
Maybe. Yeah, it could maybe evaporate the water. Because I feel like what Itachi will have to do, he will have to activate Susanoo because Kasame will be faster than him. So like he would have to activate the Susanoo, and then if Kasame had to start attacking the Susanoo, which is chakra, so he will absorb it. Okay, but then if Itachi's able to time the Totsuka blade and hit him, then he's fucked. But I don't think Kasame.
Why would Kasame have to attack the Susanoo directly? He could always hit someone like 5 of the chakra sharks. And just have
and
them
then absorb the chakra from the sides or whatever. But see, then it comes to the point where it's like if Itachi, there's a weird saying, which I don't think this is the case, but to where if Itachi's able to incorporate the Yata mirror around his whole Susanoo, then he's fine. But it's a big if, and the only reason why I'm even putting that out there is because there was one person, I can't remember who it was, made a point where like, all right, well, we only got so much, from what Itachi really could do because fucking, he was sick and blah, blah, and then we only get to see him again as an Edo. But for all we know, like, if he kept training and blah, blah, maybe he could have incorporated the Yata mirror to his entire Susanoo where he could have been invincible, or even better yet, also utilized perfect Susanoo. I mean, so there's that whole thing.
Yeah, we were talking about this, me and you.
Yeah, so like, but if, obviously that's a very big hypothetical, there's no proof for that either. I mean, like, you can only use, like, circumstantial or speculation evidence, you know what I mean? But...
Well, I mean, that would be like saying Kushina... Because one of the things I do, just be stupid every once in a while, say, well, Kushina knew how to tame the Nine Tails, that way she could use KCM too. Therefore, she could... Obito, it's like, yeah, you could argue it, but there's no actual thing to say that's even argue.
So just to keep this short, though, what I will at least say for the very least... Could he maybe be able to pull it off? Maybe, but I think Kasame takes it 9 out of 10 times.
The more Itachi has to use the MS, the less likely he is to win.
Yeah. 6-gate guy, it's interesting. Do you think he just straight up overpowers the water bubble? Because every time he did...
There's a war arc that's above him. That would be able to use shapes as well.
Because, like... It's interesting because... Oh, so you're talking about this one, the 6-gate above?
Yeah. It's that one used the 6-gate. He wins. The other one, I don't see him being able to win just because he did just to go into the 7th gate in order to overwhelm the one water attack of his. Mm-hmm. And if he's getting constantly hit by the sharks from like behind and all that, that's going to be a big problem.
Could this? Maybe, but if you're being generous to Kasame, then sure, he takes it. Everybody else, basically getting bodied. Minato would be fine. He doesn't need to breathe. Like, for being honest, he doesn't even need to breathe. He actually could be a problem for Kasame because he's just so fucking strong.
Well, it's the Diva Path that's going to have that problem that he's definitely going to have that problem. Because he has no way of getting out of people like Shirpan for Tensei. So once he's in, that's it. Mm-hmm. You could argue maybe the chakras, but then he could just counter with like a water shark, which you could just resummon. Yeah,
he's fucked. Unless he does a summoning, then he can get out of it.
No, not even, because if the A-tail split it, then Manda's not helping. Unless you think because he's a snake, he can get out of it better, but considering that the A-tails is an octopus. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think everybody else just basically gets clapped, so yeah, it's fun. Let's get a little more higher. So yeah, guy, he's a fucking beast.
He's got nunchucks, and that just makes him God tier.
Like, I'll be honest, just as guy with guy in 6K, especially if you analyze what he did in the war, he wasn't able to beat V2s, though. That's the only thing, though. Like, he was able to fight against them, but he could not beat them. You know what I mean? So, he would either need the 7th gate or the 8th gate in order to potentially be able to maybe beat a V2. And that's just me.
He thinks that if Kasame above them is not what wouldn't be able to be used to utilize against that 6th gate like that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, when we saw him use 6th gate, like, he attacked the V2s and it wasn't doing anything. Like, his best showing in the gates was against like Four Tails Naruto. It was like in a power filler arc where it was Four Tails Naruto and he went into the gates with Lee and they would just give Naruto the hands and send him flying in V2. So I'm not saying the gates aren't strong or anything. Like, they are fucking strong, but then when he's fighting in the war arc with 6 gate, you know, he was hitting them and whatnot, and they were just eating it, licking their lips, you know. So I don't know. Like I don't think he'd be able to beat the V2s. Definitely probably be able to give KCM Naruto a run for his money. They would go back and forth, whatever, and I think KCM won Naruto would more than likely be able to beat Six Gate Guy. I don't think not Seventh Gate, but definitely maybe Six Gate. You know. This is interesting. I think Guy could still be able to whoop his ass though. It'd be pretty cool to see them fight though. Beating him, I don't think Six Gate is beating the third Raikage. I don't think he's gonna be able to bypass his durability. Six Gate versus fourth Raikage. What do you think on that, Loke? That'd be pretty cool though. Seeing a Raikage fight against a Gate user.
Yeah,
like,
that would be pretty cool.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, it could go either way, right?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. I think Tsunade would actually win because she could just keep healing no matter whatever he dishes out. He'd be able to fuck them up in Speed Blitz. Sailor Naruto would be able to perceive and sense and dodge, but only for so long. So basically it comes out to who can outlast the other, Gates or Naruto. Because the moment he loses Sage Mode, he's fucked. So, Five Kage Sasuke basically gets fucked. You know what I mean? Because if he does the Gates, he's immediately Speed Blitzing. Or you could even argue he could break through the Susanoo as well. But if Sasuke is able to do like Genjutsu or whatever, then that could be a problem for Guy. I'm just saying. Loke fell asleep.
No, I didn't. I'm here.
Oh, you're here? I thought you were snoring.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. I could have sworn I heard you snoring after. I was like, damn, that man fell asleep instantly.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Maybe it was like for a brief second because I was on my bed, but.
Oh, okay. Hey, bro, if you're tired, go to bed, man.
No. We are at the end of the fucking.
We are at the end. We are at the end. I'm gonna make this go quick then. I think 6-8, that guy and everything more likely to speed blitz Itachi. If he's able to pull off Genjutsu, then maybe he could win, but whatever. She gets shitted on. I'll leave that be. This Choji, I don't know, that'd be weird. 6-8 guy versus this Choji. What do you think? I don't know, bro. I think Choji might beat him because he was boxing the Ghetto statue, and come on, I don't think guys boxing the Ghetto statue in 6-Gate.
He was doing that.
He was.
Yeah, he was doing that.
I'll say Guy runs so fast he punches a hole through Choji.
Yeah.
Just like a bullet.
You don't think his durability would be more better since he's like in that form? Because like I said, this man was able to take attacks from the fucking, you know what I mean, the Ghetto statue, bro. The Ghetto statue is very powerful. Like that Ghetto statue fucking like remind you had all the fucking tail beast in it. Like,
you could argue that.
I don't know. It's interesting.
If that's the case, Choji will just flick Guy away.
Yeah. Fucking Sasuke, Guy just straight up speed blitzes and fucks him up unless he's able to do Genjutsu somehow and create an opening and win. Kakazu gets bodied by his ass. That'd actually be a really interesting, good video to do though. Like a Gate user versus a Raikage. That'd be pretty cool to do a video on. I don't even think anyone's done a video on that. But Guy would be able to.
Oh, 8th gate.
Yeah. Oh, you know, 8th gate bodies. Yeah, a Raikage user. It's just interesting because it's like, do you think 7th gate destroys Raikage? You know what I mean? Which 7th gate's no fucking joke, bro. I think 7th gate would probably be able to beat a Raikage user. That's just me. Like, you know, I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, speed blitzes. Yep, fine. Joining Minato is actually interesting. It's like, because you have to basically quantify how fast Guy is, you know what I mean, in the 6th gate, which there is one moment where Minato was about to do the Flying Raijin to teleport to save Kakashi, but Guy did his 6th gate and was able to save him and move fast enough and save him instead from Madara's True Seeking Orb, so you can take that however you want, but it'd be interesting just to see like him flying everywhere and while Guy's teleporting. Like, I don't know. I don't really know. Obviously, manipulating space and time would be better than gate speed, but it's like Minato does have to reappear for a brief moment to attack. So then it just gets to a point where it's like, does Guy just fuck him up the moment he reappears? You know what I mean? Like, or does Minato just play like an outlasting game? Who can teleport the longest? I don't know about that.
Do you remember in the Obito fight after Minato lands the Rasengan and marks Obito? Once he teleports to Obito, he also attacks at the same instance. So you could argue he can do that. So like sometimes when he teleports, it still shows you him still moving to attack.
Yeah.
Like with Rasengan, so he teleports and then he swings his arm and attacks. Mm-hmm. And then the second time he teleports, he just instantly stabs Obito.
Yeah. Yeah.
So depends what he does.
Yeah, it does. It depends. I would say joining Minato could actually probably be able to beat 6th gate Guy. That's just me. 7th gate Guy, no. I don't think he's taking 7th gate Guy. But 6th gate Guy, I would say he could.
Who?
7th gate Guy.
No.
And joining Minato.
Minato?
I think Minato beats 6th gate Guy, but I don't know about 7th gate Guy. Because 7th gate Guy was over here fucking up Edo Rinnegan Madara, Susanoo, fucking fighting as Jubi Madara, fucking, you know, doing all kinds of crazy shit. Even Minato was getting blown away by like how powerful he was. Gara was just, you know, like he's seen all these fucking characters and he's like, wow, inhuman fucking speed or movement. Like, I don't know. 7th gate Guy is just built different. But I don't know how you feel about that though. I don't know if you think that would surpass joining Minato, but like even with the Flying Raijin. I'd still say Flying Raijin's teleportation speed is better because once again it's hacks, it's manipulating space and time, but you know, 7th gate Guy is fast.
That Guy could react.
Yeah, exactly. Like Guy could react and just use his speed and keep moving, and so meaning whenever Minato's trying to create that opening with Flying Raijin, you know, to attack while he's teleporting, Guy could just be able to move away, you know. So it's interesting.
If Minato outsmarts him, maybe tricks him into something, or like. But
better yet, uses like a clone to fight against Guy, and then Guy hits him, and then he uses his clone to mark him, you know, or something. And then the moment he has him marked, I'm sorry, like, like at that point, Guy's more likely fuck, especially if he gets marked like from behind or even in front. Like Minato would just teleport, bam, instant attack, you know. So, like, if Guy gets marked, he's screwed. But as long as Guy doesn't get marked, he's fine, you know.
And yeah, it's fair to assume that 7 Gates Guy takes it.
Yeah, but it's interesting. It is interesting. I'll say that. Obviously, 7th gate Guy is not going to be able to beat all the Tail Beasts. He literally says he had to go to 8th gate in order to fight all of them. 7th. This is also really interesting when it comes to 7th. Fuck, I'm talking about 6th gate Guy. Fuck. Do you like? This has always been a topic. I've seen some YouTube videos on this. But with fucking 6th gate Guy fighting, or either 6th gate or 7th gate Guy fighting against all the Paths of Pain. Like, I don't know. Like, Pain is no joke and powerful, and like, he has a crazy amount of chakra, obviously way more than Guy. You know what I mean? The linked vision. So like, I have arguments to where like Pain could still be able to react and use the linked vision and be fine. And I feel like it would take Guy to go to the 8th gate in order to beat all the Paths of Pains. You know what I mean? Or even fucking Nagato. That's just me. But like if it's like 1-on-1, then yeah, guy obviously shits on him. I mean, Tendo Pain's probably the only one that could actually, be able to maybe fight back, maybe. But I still think he would get shit on because, with his speed, he'd be able to make up for that interval after Shinra Tente's been used. But like,
Guy tank and attack.
Could Guy? Yeah, that's what's the interesting part. We know his speed and power gets more crazy. You know what I mean? But his durability, he doesn't have durability feats, Like, the only durability feat I ever seen him actually have was when he was fighting against V2 transformations and he was in the 6 gate and he was able to tank a tail attack, But, that's cool. It's impressive. Yeah, it's a V2 attack, while Orochimaru was getting folded over and over. And even just from, like, the heat of the V2 transformation would incinerate him, So, like, obviously, Guy does have durability in the gates as well, but it's like then it gets to a point where it's like, do you think with all Pain's abilities and attacks could be able to overcome 6 gate or 7 gate Guy's durability? I don't know. It's interesting, but I feel like that's something that takes a lot more homework to do and everything. It could go either way, maybe. Yeah, it could go either way, but then again, with like Shinra Tensei as well, like I don't see how Guy is going to be bypassing that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. But I always thought it was interesting. But, 6 gate warp guy, yeah. Bodies. Any Edos, obviously, that's not fair. Bodies. Probably could be able to, yeah, definitely be able to wash him up as well. But then, he'll probably be able to just tank it or endure it and be fine. But I don't know. Yep, just bodies. So everything else. But that's basically my stance with 6 gate Guy. And then remember, this nunchuck fucking guy was able to fight like toe to toe without the gates against Renegon Obito, which is pretty fucking impressive. So then give him the gates, like, Then you have Gar Wark. I would not say he's over Guy. The guy would definitely clap this bitch. Even Lee would clap him. He doesn't even have the tail beast. Yeah, he doesn't even have the tail beast to save his ass anymore, or to heal him and everything, or give him crazy amount of chakra and stamina. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure Guy and Lee's fucking his ass up this time. Hiruzen Edo is very powerful, but he's not beating Gate Lee or Gate Guy. That's just me though. But they would ultimately lose because they don't have ceiling abilities. Sagemon Kabuto. Sagemon Kabuto is crazy fucking powerful. But, like, then it gets to a point, like, if he's fighting against Lee in 6 gate or Guy in the 6 gate, I believe he would be able to sense and react, and that'll be fine. You know what I mean? And then eventually with his hacks abilities and all that, you basically kill them. But that's, if you think he could be able to sense and react because of Sage Mode and everything. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to, though. But what do you think on that? You think he just gets speed blitz and fucked, or can he sense and react because of Sage Mode?
I would say he could react.
I'd say he would be able to too. I don't see why. Like, Sage Mode consistently always shows that even if you are vastly faster, like even like better yet, Tobirama, prime example, using Flying Raijin, and Madara with just Sage Mode was able to react. So I don't see why he wouldn't be able to either. So yeah, that's kind of they kind of take the L with that. Kurama, like, full fucking transformation, like, yeah, fucking shits on a lot of characters. But obviously for referring to, like, fucking, you know what I mean, like, Reaper Death Seal, then he wins, but he dies. Fucking Nagato arguably could be able to seal him with Chupaka Tensei, especially at full power. That's reasonable.
Yeah, fair.
Nine Tails would clap, obviously, all these people. The only way you could argue for Tendo Pain to seal him is if he's at full power. That's the only way.
Which is essentially Nagato.
Yeah, but it's a big if. You know what I mean? It's a big if. It's not for sure. We don't know, so what we do know is a very extremely fatigued, exhausted Pain still stated and thought that he could be able to just make Chewbacca Tensei bigger and still seal at least half the power of the Nine Tails, which that is very fucking impressive. So, and then as Nagato, not even at full power, was able to do Chewbacca Tensei, and you know what I mean, and it was basically going to seal Killer Bee and Naruto, along with Itachi at the same time, but they all, used their strongest attacks and basically stopped it, So his sealing ability is no joke. It's very fucking crazy. Now, what you could argue for Kurama to not be sealed is if he's about to seal him, he could just do a full fucking Tail Beast Bomb, and that could probably stop it, It'd be very weird for Kurama to not try to fight back. So I'd say Kurama probably most definitely has enough attack potency to stop it from happening. It'd be very weird to say he couldn't. So the only way Nagato's dealing with him is by ripping Kurama's soul out,
or the black rods.
That too, he would have to use the black rods and the tails to restrain and reduce his power, and that could be what potentially give him a W. But he would have to get the rods, get it, incorporate with his either soul ripping or Chewbacca Tensei, and then he's fucked. It's the only way. But it can go either way. Either he dies or he succeeds. Tachi, Amaterasu, it's not even fair. GG. Mataratsu's just fucking broken. He also has the Totsuka blade that hits Kurama. He's sealed. That's just that. This is interesting. Like, with Itachi and Nagato, obviously that's a big thing people talk about all the fucking time,
Yeah.
But what I will say at the very least, like, if we're putting them both at full power and just Edo to Edo, I would still scale Nagato over. You know what I mean? Because he's going to have way more chakra. He has both Renegons, which is also, like, gives you a shit ton of chakra and visual powers, you name it. It's a big deal. And then with just all that to consideration with him, Shino Tensei, all his abilities and everything, like summonings, like Itachi can be able to deal with the summonings with Amaterasu, that's fine. But fucking, if Itachi gets like grabbed by the chameleon's tongue, while it's invisible, he's not getting out of that. That could create an opening for Nagato to get him and take his soul or whatever. So like Nagato I feel like he has way more win cons to beat this Itachi. The only way Itachi could really beat him is if this Nagato is still evil and he does Izanami, then that could work. But if Nagato does Chewbacca Tensei, there's no way you can prove that he would have enough AP to fucking destroy a Chewbacca Tensei. He needed the help of Killer Bee and Naruto. It's just blatantly how it is. And there's so many people that actually are out there and be like, oh, he would have AP to destroy it. It's like, okay, prove that. You know what I mean? And you can't fucking prove it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just no way. Like, it'd be so weird. What's that?
No. You can't prove that.
Yeah, you can't prove that. So anyone that actually fucking makes those bogus claims or statements that he could or any way to try to support it, it's so ignorant, in my opinion. Like, the only thing you can argue is maybe his Yada mirror could probably stop it. Or maybe is a big if. Maybe his Totsuka blade could also maybe be negated. I don't fucking know. But like,
yeah, I don't know. But most important,
but
would just Itachi.
Yeah, but the only way I see Itachi dealing with that is probably the Yada mirror, and that would make more sense because the Yada mirror is literally made to basically block or negate anything. You know what I mean? So, and that would be that. Totsuka blade's a big if. I don't know if that would work on that, but just saying his fucking Yada beads or or his Susanoo would just overpower that shit. Like, I don't know, bro. That's a little crazy. But regardless, what it's really going to come down to is them fighting it out, whatever. And I just feel like with him having the Renegon, just gives him way more hacks abilities, way more flexibility. He has way more chakra than fucking Itachi. And we all know that more chakra, helps with your stats and everything overall. So I just feel like Itachi's taking the L. I don't think he's beating Nagato. It's really weird to say he does beat him. His only win con is Izanami, but that's if he's bad. Or fucking, you could also maybe argue for Tsukiyomi to win. to where if you think Tsukiyomi could also affect a Rinnegan user, then yeah, he's fucked. But then again, it's the Rinnegan. It'd be really weird for the Rinnegan to lose to a Mingekyo Sharingan, you know? So that's just me, but I'll let you guys decide whatever on that. Fucking other than that, I can't think of anything else for Itachi. I'm sorry, I really can't. Like, you know what I mean? Like a Nagato can counter everything he fucking does. Like, it's what does Itachi do? You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I don't really, in my opinion, don't understand why people even heavily debate about this topic, because Nagato can literally counter everything. Counter everything. See when he's building up chakra, when he's using his abilities. Can more than likely negate the Tsukiyomi as well because he has the Rinnegan. Has way more chakra than the fucking Itachi. Like, I don't know, but
and no B, no Naruto, so
yep,
Nagato's gonna be focused on him.
Literally, so there's no distractions, there's no openings, there's no nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just, you know, and Kabuto is not controlling Nagato either. That was also another big nerf. A lot of people forget that. Like, imagine you not being able to steer your own body. You know what I mean? Like, imagine someone's driving your fucking vehicle, you know what I mean, or whatever, and it's not you, and only you know exactly how to operate your car or whatever, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Like a simple analogy. Like, Nagato's obviously going to be performing and be at his best with him being able to control himself, not someone else controlling him, which is also a nerf as well. While Itachi was being controlled by Kodo Matsukami, okay, and has full control of his body and everything and is doing whatever. You know what I mean? It's not like Kabuto having to make a decision or what to do or what jutsu or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not even fucking fair. So you have Itachi who's in full control of his body, and then you have Nagato who's being controlled by Kabuto. You know, like, so there's that also to put into consideration. So, like, there's so many variables, there's so many conditions of why that fight even went the way it went and why Itachi was even able to seal Nagato. You know, like, and everybody is so fucking oblivious to that. But that's just me. You know, whatever. Obviously, Ken put him over for a reason, so I'll let Ken explain, but that's just my take when it comes to Nagato versus Itachi. What you think, Ken? Or are you gone? Are you asleep?
I went to go get water. My phone was on the charger across the room.
So you probably didn't hear anything I said then.
No, I heard all of it. You are physically within my ear. So the reason why I have Edo Naruto above Edo Itachi is because all those. So if we were talking healthy Itachi and healthy, let me say that again. If we were talking healthy alive Itachi versus healthy alive Nagato wins. But because all those things are in play here, and because Itachi does have more ways to get around the Edo Tensei than Nagato, that's why Nagato is above.
Okay.
Not Nagato, Itachi is above.
Okay, so you're referring to the exact conditions that happen, which is why you're putting them above when they fall. Okay, then yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But like, if it's not, even if they were Edo to Edo, you know what I mean? Like, fucking, I'm still giving that to Nagato. Yeah, and now that Kabuto even states towards the end of the fight that says, "Damn it! Like if Nagato had mobility, he would have been able to dodge that." Like, you know, like. So I don't know, like I don't know. But anyways, we'll leave that. Okay, so Obito. I think Itachi beats that Obito. I have my reasons, but that's, you know, I just feel like Itachi could be able to make openings to exploit, you know what I mean, the weakness of Kami, where if he materializes, you know, he's vulnerable. You know, and then with you could even argue that maybe Tsukiyomi could be a W, or Obito is able to resist it. Either way, whatever. You can also have arguments for Itachi's Totsuka Blade to also work on Kamui, because remember, Kamui only works on physical objects, while Totsuka Blade is a spiritual object. You know what I mean? So
I get what you're saying. My big problem with it is it's not like you're in a spiritual realm when you use Kamui. That body part just isn't in that part of reality. If Kamui was like a spiritual realm, I would agree, but with that being separate, I just can't.
Yeah, which, you know, it is what it is. Like, if he did his Totsuka Blade, you know, and Obito's, you know, using Kamui like he always does, fucking basically all that happens is his body part just goes, whatever's being touched just goes to the other dimension. You know what I mean? So like, and that's why typically whatever hits it just goes right through him, you know. So, but either way, like if you want to say that for some reason it's the spiritual weapon and blah blah that could somehow negate and still affect Obito even with Kamui, then there you go. That's another W.
Also, this Obito can summon the Nine Tails as well.
Oh well, even with the Nine Tails of Mataratsu, bye. Like,
so I don't think it's a thing where like the Nine Tails would be able to beat that Amitachi, obviously considering where the Nine Tails is.
Yeah.
But I do think he would be able to distract him long enough that if he wanted to, he could go take him and suck him into the other dimension, and that would be a win.
I don't know, like if it's Obito and the Nine Tails fighting against this Itachi, like remember he can spam all his abilities and everything, so like if he does Tsukiyomi in the Nine Tails, like the Nine Tails is out of the fight basically for that time being. If he does fucking hey baby, hang on, what's that look for? What you doing? Hey, baby.
Hold on while I'm making a bottle.
And then Amaterasu is obviously a pretty problem for the Nine Tails as well. So there's that to put in consideration. Like, he's going to be able to deal with the Nine Tails actually a lot more easier than Minato was able to because of his fucking hacks abilities and what he can do. So he'll be able to actually focus a lot more on Obito. And with this Obito, remember, even this Obito and Orange Mask Obito was compared to Itachi basically as a rival throughout the show. And Obito, on multiple occasions, also basically inferred that he was also afraid of Itachi. It happened on multiple occasions. So, like, you know, it's with all those narrative statements and everything of Obito having some level of fear towards Itachi, you know, not to the point where, like, if it really came down to it, he wouldn't fight. But mainly to the point where he never wanted to fight Itachi because he was worried of what the outcome could be, you know, of him losing or being killed. You know, and then there's even, like, just with like a couple statements. Like, there's one statement where he states if Itachi knew everything about him, he'd be dead. Then you have another statement where it's literally in the Naruto movie with the fucking Road Ninja, whatever, where Itachi pulls up on Obito, and is Obito with the orange mask, and he's like, even you, like, in this universe, whatever, are still fucking troublesome, blah, blah, because Itachi's like, alright, I can tell physical attacks won't work on you, but I have other ways to deal with that, you know? And then Obito just immediately retreats and says, nah, fuck that, I ain't fighting you. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, there's many examples, and you have the Zetsu statements along with what Obito says about Itachi, you know, implying level of fear. So that's a whole thing. But either way, like, obviously neither one is speed blitzing either or. They're going to be able to fight, whatever, feel each other out. But it's going to get to the point where if Konan or other characters are able to exploit his weakness, you know, or deduce how it works, Tachi would be able to, you know, and you could be able to make arguments for basically him either creating an opening or injuring Obito, just like how Minato did or Konan did, even without prep, okay? So that's a whole thing. And other than that, fucking also, you could also argue that if Itachi's in close range, that his Amaterasu could also hit Obito before Kamui even activates, because it happened already. So, like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I do think Itachi could be able to beat Obito. That's just me. If you want to say Obito could beat Itachi, that's fine. There's nothing unreasonable about that. But if I had to pick, and I was going to choose someone in a debate, I would go with Itachi. That's just me, though. Yeah, is that how you feel as well? Yeah. Yeah. But, what do you think about that, Loke?
Well, if you're talking about the Obito that fought Minato, then yeah, I would probably. I don't know. I already played it.
Yeah, no, I know. You're more on the side of Obito, right?
Yeah, we talked about a lot about it.
Yeah.
Like,
which is fine. It's nothing like crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
the best thing you have for Itachi is he's relative to like KCM, like to Naruto.
Yeah.
And KCM to Naruto is relative to the Yellow Flash, but we know that Obito can react to everything Minato can do, and he only got cut off the guard by him to that teleportation.
Yeah, exactly.
So he should be able to face all of his attacks. I think his best option is unironically the Amaterasu, but I do think he can combo Amaterasu off him.
reserved to KC1, not to.
Oy. Well, if we're being honest, like, fucking the Obito that's, like, in the war and everything, like, he's over here eventually, fighting with KCM2 Naruto and everything, like, so it's not unreasonable to imply Itachi could also be able to do the same thing that Obito's doing. Like, they're basically always indicated to be on the same level, close to each other. What's it called? Even, like, EMS, fucking Sasuke was getting to the point where Obito was at, So, it's just, where it really comes down to is obviously Obito's Kamui ability, and I'm just being honest with you, like, it's not impossible to deal with. It's just that simple. Like,
no, but it
is hard, but it's not impossible. And so, like, if like, for instance, just one example, if Itachi did like that one shadow clone thing he did, when he first fought against Kakashi and everybody, you know what I mean? Like, and Obito's over here trying to fucking Kamui that, like, and then it does an explosion. That can also, fuck up Obito, just like what Konan did with him. Like, fucking, there's just many ways how Itachi can be able to fight and make an opening or whatever. Like, if you guys even analyze Obito's fights, like, every time he even fights, he always gets injured because the only way he can Kamui someone is if he's making himself be at risk to be vulnerable to attack, which is why he gets hit in most of his fights. So, like, even the Danzo henchman, like, he had to be willing to fucking get infected by the bugs and everything in order to Kamui him. Like, that's a problem. I mean, the fact that you can only Kamui someone and you have to touch him, and meaning you can be hurt at that same time, like, that kind of sucks. So, and then you're talking about Itachi out of all characters, who's at least being shown and comparable to KCM1 Naruto, who's heavily compared to Yellow Flash Minato, right, Flying Raijin, you name it. You can even argue if, as long as Itachi does a body flicker just in time to land an attack, whether if it's his Totsuka blade, a Mataratsu, or whatever, could be able to catch Obito slipping. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it really boils down to. It's just timing,
If he hits the Totsuka blade, that's it. I don't think the Mataratsu would be enough. I think he can get out of the Mataratsu even if he gets hit.
Well, if the Mataratsu hits Obito, he can't get rid of that. Like, that was even shown. So, like, he would have to use Izanagi.
No, the Kamui is good for it.
No. Remember, like, when he does Kamui, his body part goes into dimension. So, meaning, if his body gets hit...
He can kind of control what does it. So, realistically, he can just teleport all of them except for whatever part of whatever the Mataratsu itself.
Well, no, I know that, but, like, let's say if his body gets hit by a Mataratsu, if he tries to Kamui that, it's just gonna, I mean? Like, it's gonna travel with him. It's just gonna go where he's at, meaning the fire would still be on his body. Like,
well, no, he would just have to not Kamui the fire with him.
Like, if you're referring to, like, him having Kamui and it going through him, then yeah, he'd be fine. But if if the flames hit his body, he's fucked. Like, it literally happened with Sasuke, and he's screaming in pain, rolling on the ground, and he had to resort to using Izanagi.
Oh, he Kamui's out.
No, he did it.
So, and I am going to have to do this, and I know you guys don't like data book stuff, but this one does help.
Well, no, I know. I already know about that data book statement. It basically states that he utilized Kamui to escape that. But the reason why that's not true and it's not even accurate, and is mainly because, for one, we haven't even been introduced to Izanagi yet. For two, what's it called? Like, if you analyze Obito's ability and actually see how it works and operates. Like, when Kakashi was inside of the dimension, whenever attacks went through Obito, okay, his body part would go to that dimension. And then guess what? Kakashi was attacking him from the inside, inflicting damage. Which, that's also another strategy you can incorporate. If you send a clone or whatever, you name it, or especially if he's fighting against Pain and they get Kamui'd and they're in there, they could just attack him from the inside. But anyways...
no, I'm not arguing that you can't attack Obito from the other side of Kamui. What I'm saying is, he could just Kamui himself, not Kamui the fire with him.
But see, he can't Kamui himself because if he Kamui's himself, he's vulnerable. That's even shown with Konan. So meaning that if he's trying to Kamui himself, okay, so for instance, like he even tried to do that with Konan, to where everything was slipping through him, and he's like, all right, I'm just going to Kamui my body, which reminds you is also stated to be slower. So if he tries to Kamui his body, it's even slower than the Kamui activization, to where, what's it called, when he's trying to Kamui someone else. So whenever he's trying to... Kamui his own body, it's stated to even be slower. So if he tries to Kamui his body, he's literally vulnerable. And if literally like at that moment while he's trying to do it, then the paper bombs are exploding and going through to where he can't even Kamui himself anymore. Meaning he has to keep phasing through.
Because he does admit that he just underestimated what Conan was able to do. I think what he was going to do was just Kamui himself so that the bombs would not attack him. Whatever body part he thought was going to get attacked, and then he realized there were so many. At that point, if he had tried to use Kamui to get himself to teleport completely, I think there was not enough time to do it at that point. I think that's the problem. While in this case, Mars was already on him, so he just had to teleport himself and then just not take the Kamui with him.
Yeah, like when Conan like pushed up on him and then he like choked her, okay, because he was looking for her and then he chokes her and he's like, found you, and then he's like, it's over, and he's about to Kamui her, and now he's vulnerable to attack. She has paper bombs on herself and everything and on the papers around her, and she's like, alright, I'll just take you with me then, let's go. And then he's like, oh shit, and so then he tries to fucking literally Kamui the explosion, okay, but literally, you know, obviously there wasn't enough time, and so half of his body got like fucking damaged and fucked up from it, you know, so like...
Oh yeah, but again, I think the only reason why that happened was because he was taking her lightly, and if he hadn't, he could have Kamui'd himself a lot sooner and he would have been fine. I don't know, it's questionable if you want, realistically, I want to get through this list so low-key, low-key, get his sleep.
Yeah,
if you want, we can do a whole thing on this. I think that'll be a fun.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's not a problem either.
I know, because I had this conversation with someone else who also just didn't want to, who also just rejected that idea, but
yeah.
I know, I think it's more evidence that he used Kamui to deal with that than he is an army.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's arguable either way, but all context
aside,
that's just what I think.
I don't know about that, but whatever the case
Loki,
is,
you're happy.
Don't fucking bring up that fucking data book again.
Why? Just because you hate the data book doesn't mean
And me, it's not only me.
it is you, man. You hate the data book. Just be honest. Just admit you hate the data. It's fine. I don't think any less of you because of it. Just admit you have that bias. It's fine. I get why, but
I do, but it's not only me.
okay. I mean, I don't care. The whole world can hate that data book. That doesn't mean anything for me.
Alright, but let's continue on. What's it called? So basically, that's just that. Also, that Obito, if he's fighting against Nagato.
Also, did you play a laugh track or did it just echo?
What?
Did he play a laugh track or did it just echo on his end?
I don't know.
Oh, wait. Who played what?
Nothing. It was just my imagination. If you don't know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know.
Then we have Nagato versus Obito, and this is interesting because, like, what's it called? You know, it's his Kamui and the Rinnegan abilities, and basically it comes to a point where it's like you could argue Nagato could do Chibaku Tensei, which would basically just be constantly pulling up Obito, and then Obito would have to obviously do Kamui to make sure he's not like. Well, even if he did Kamui, it would still be pulling him. You know what I mean? Like, it would pull him up, but obviously everything would just be phasing through him. Because remember, gravity's still going to work on him. It was clearly shown against Conan. I mean, so he'll start getting pulled up to the core and everything, but basically his Kamui would do it and whatever. And if I'm being honest with you, that's one way Nagato could be able to deal with Kamui, is just doing the Chibaku Tensei and then just fucking spamming that shit, you know? And it's basically whoever outlasts who, and he can only do it for 5 minutes. And
well, because realistically, if he uses planetary devastation, he just Kamui completely to the Kamui dimension and then just come back.
Well, the problem with that is, like, if he tries to Kamui just similar to a Conan, fucking, then basically, you know, while the rocks and everything is all, like, going, you know, towards him, like, he you know what I mean? Like, he's going to get hit by that and fucked up. So he's still going to be phasing, and then Nagato, he's not just going to let him fucking warp away. Like, he's going to fucking, you know, be shooting his beams, missiles, or, you know, whatever. You know, he could also fly. We know that too. So, fucking, like, it's, you know, that's going to be happening. It'd be really interesting because once eventually that timer goes up, then that's it. And then he just deals with them or whatever. It's either that's one way he could be able to try to figure out how to deal with the Kamui. Or this is not really my main argument, but there's other people that will say that his Shinra Tensei could be able to negate his Kamui. And just deal with it, and that's that. But that's a stretch, obviously, and this is something we don't know. Like, there's even a YouTuber forgot his name. It's either New Horizons or Thunder God that actually believes that Nagato's or Pain Shinra Tensei would negate Obito's Kamui and just fuck him up.
That's another thing. You've inspired me. I am going to do a video on the I know you did, but I am going to do a video on Rock Lee. It's Rock Lee versus Neji because I got so many problems with that thing.
Okay. And then but yeah. So like that's one way. Other than that, if that's not the case, then basically the only way I can see Nagato dealing with Kamui and all that is if fucking let's say they charge at each other, and you know what I mean, like, and Nagato does like his rod thing and throws it through him or whatever, and then like right when Obito's about to grab him, you know what I mean, and like fucking do it, then like his robotic thing just comes and just fucking hits him at that exact moment to catch him off guard. I don't fucking know, but either way, like he does have Shinra Tensei, he has the soul thing and everything, and what we do know is Obito has to engage contact to Kamui. And so if he grabs Nagato can just grab him back, and then guess what? Soul and Kamui. Imagine that, like, Obito tries to Kamui him, then he does the soul thing and he's ripping out his soul. And what we do know is if their soul starts getting pulled out, you can't use any of like your abilities and shit. I mean, you're basically like paralyzed, you know? So there's that, but I don't know, it's really interesting. You know, it's really fucking interesting. It can go either way, but I feel like you can argue for W's for Nagato. So
wasn't Naruto able to use the Nine-Tails chakra arms while his soul was being sucked out and in Sengon?
So he was able to do the Rising Dawn, but then Nagato just absorbed it. You know what I mean? So basically it made it like he was paralyzed, like he couldn't move. But the only reason why he could do that was because he had the QB cloak. You know what I mean? If you're just a normal human, you're paralyzed. You can't move your body. You know? So, and Obito doesn't have a fucking QB cloak. So yeah, he's not going to be able to move, and he's kind of fucked. So, but that's a way, you know. So, but either way, that's my main thing with that. You know, it can go either way. It is what it is.
But Shinra Tensei doesn't bypass Kamui.
Yeah, more than likely does. I don't think it would. Like what we do know is Shinra Tensei does consist of all 5 chakra natures, and if you at least go to the data book, you know, blah blah.
Oh no.
I'm just saying, you know, the fucking with the thing, it does. So it does. The data book basically says it can negate, you know, everything and fucking and what's it called? It doesn't matter what size, whatever it is. It just basically bypasses it. And if we look at the overall context, because the way I am, I don't utilize data books unless it's actually supported by the context of Naruto. At least with Pain and Nagato, whenever he does do Shinra Tensei, 9 out of 10 times it works and it's never had any fails until Naruto did like a 200 IQ move, okay, and put his tails into the ground and anchored himself to where instead of him getting sent flying by gravity and everything and the power, he was able to withstand it because of that, and then used his power to recoil that gravity and power back towards Tendo Pain. That only happened because he anchored himself. If he didn't anchor himself, he would have been sent flying. So unless you have a way to do that, then you're getting sent flying. You know, so, and bottom line is, like with the whole data book statement, everything, because, you know, it's a hack ability, whatever, all 5 chakra natures, yada yada, like to the point where it doesn't matter what your defense is or what the fuck, you know, you're using, it just gets bypassed and you get blown away, that's it. And that's why everyone has the whole fallacy or whatever that if he does Shinra Tensei, even against the likes of Obito with Kamui, it would bypass it. But anyways,
yeah, just so we're clear, I do agree about the chakra natures. I don't have a problem with that. But you know that Kamui is a space-time ninjutsu and has nothing to do with chakra natures. So that's what my point is.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's
You're
just
no limit fallacy as well, by the way.
But that's that. So, but either way, it is what it is. It can go either way. I don't care about that. With Minato, obviously, we saw what alive. Like, so Edo would probably not be any different at all. Tobirama, even would probably be able to replicate the same feat as well. But he would have to see with Tobirama, he would either just land his kunai or his water style, and there you go. But anyways, if Minato had a fight Itachi, it's interesting because Itachi in character does normally go to Genjutsu. And it was really weird because you would think Obito would use Genjutsu on Minato, but he never did to create that opening. Because better yet, like, deadass, this me, it made me make me sound like I'm hating on Obito, but this pissed me off. If Obito just put Minato and Genjutsu at the exact moment they're going head to head, at that brief moment, like whoever touches who first, you could argue Obito would have won that fight. You know, like, but he didn't do it. He didn't do Genjutsu, he just tried to touch him and combo him, you know. While Itachi, he always uses fucking Genjutsu. Every time. You know, so if Itachi's able to put Minato, Edo Minato in Genjutsu, then Totsuka Blade GG, whatever. Or better yet, if Minato's dumb enough to look at his eyes, because not only, correct me if I'm wrong, but Minato was not looking at Obito's body. He was looking at that motherfucker dead on in the face.
Yes, he was.
You know, like, and fucking... What was that?
Maybe Minato would be. Maybe Obito thought he would break out easily.
Probably, yeah. I mean, maybe that's the. It's one of the assumptions you can make, you know, to where Obito thought even if he. It's just very, very weird because it's like Obito has crazy Genjutsu feats though, so it kind of contradicts to where like he's able to control the fucking Mizukage, a perfect Jinchuriki as well that should be able to break out of you a Genjutsu. And put him in Genjutsu, and he never even knew he was in Genjutsu. The Tail Beast didn't even know he was in Genjutsu. Pulling like a Kodo Matsukami feat, you know? So, like, it's just, it's weird, you know what I mean? And then Obito has Mingekyo, which enhances your Genjutsu. So the fact that he just didn't use Genjutsu, like, remember, his Genjutsu was powerful to control the Nine Tails, you know, like, the fact that he didn't use Genjutsu to even try to create an opening, or at the exact moment like Sasuke does, you know, like... I don't know, bro. Like that, it was just weird. That's just a weird moment for me, and I don't know how I feel about that. But you know, so it comes to the point where it's like either Minato is just such a fucking goat, to where even if you have Obito or Tachi or Madara level Genjutsu, it just don't affect you and you're good. You know, and or better yet, he just breaks out of it immediately and it's basically useless. I don't think that would happen. I'm pretty sure if Minato is placed in Genjutsu. You know what I mean? It'd take him, you know, a one moment to get out of it, and right when he gets out of it, it's too late, and he's getting attacked or whatever. So, but however you want to go about that, you know, fucking Itachi would have that opening, bam, W. If he doesn't have the opening, and Minato can get out of it, you know, whatever, then basically from there, it's Itachi having to deal with Minato teleporting everywhere. Obviously, he's not going to be able to do anything, so he'll have to resort to having Susanoo up. It's Edo Itachi, so he's going to be able to utilize it for as long as he wants. If it's alive, Prime Itachi, basically Itachi's on the timer. And then it comes to the point of who outlasts who, and I do think Minato would outlast Itachi and just beat him. But fucking Edo Itachi's a problem for Minato because Amaterasu, he could literally just do it on all his fucking kunai markers. You know, that's the thing. He could do it all around the fucking battlefield. You know what I mean? So it's going to be really hard for Minato to teleport. You know what I mean? Around when Amaterasu is fucking everywhere. You know, like, so that's the thing, you know, but either way, like, Minato would have to create an opening before he can activate Susanoo, and I just don't see that happening, you know, so, like, it's just weird. Like, so then Minato would have to, like, bypass his Susanoo with his Rasengan, and I don't think just in base with his Rasengan power would be able to do that. Pretty sure he would either need Sage Mode or whatever. Now, if you want to go the route of, like, you know, him having the same power level as a Raisen Shuriken, incomplete, you know what I mean? Because there is a statement where it says, like, his power rivaled that. You know, that's fine. But then again, like, even if it was a Raisen Shuriken being tossed at fucking a Susanoo. Yeah, remember, these Susanoos, we're talking about fucking where Sasuke's over here tanking fucking Jubito Truseeking orbs, you know what I mean, with his fucking Susanoo hand. I mean, like, and then there's all these points where Sasuke does, like, his Susanoo around Naruto and to protect him from the Tail Beast Bomb explosion. Like Susanoo has crazy fucking durability, you know, like, so it was even to the point where, I know it's Madara, but his was able to tank, you know, full Tail Beast Bomb, so, like, Susanoos are very fucking strong, you know what I mean? So it just, I don't know, like, and I think, you know, even if Minato did, like, a massive Rasengan in base, then Tachi could just use the Yatamir, which would just fucking reflect that back and fuck over Minato, you know, and then he gets sealed. So, like, I feel like Itachi has many ways to deal with Minato. It's either that or it's just like, oh, Minato teleports, speed blitz, you know, and then gets an opening, whatever, and then seals him, you know, and that's it. That's basically how that's going.
Argue that Minato can make a shadow clone, teleport the Susanoo away with the shadow clone, and then attack Itachi.
Yeah, and that's a fair argument too. You know what I mean? Because basically, I don't know. That'd be interesting because I know Gaara was able to pull Madara out, but like that's because he's pulling him out. But if Minato has a shadow clone and does that, you know what I mean, to touch it, and then to fucking like basically, you know, like teleport to Susanoo, wouldn't that just teleport Itachi with him?
Because you're not physically attached to your Susanoo, and we know that he can teleport on 10 tails level attack.
Yeah. Well, no, I know that. I'm just saying, like, I think that's a little different, and that would just teleport his, like him and Itachi away, not just a Susanoo.
I was the Susanoo without, like, the Susanoo being attached to Madara.
It's not attached to Madara either.
Well, I think the Susanoo is attached to you though.
No, it's just
like it's just you just like surround your chakra all around you, and like it's kind of like, you know, like it's incorporated with you. It's like a spiritual manifestation type thing.
So no, because if you were attached to you, then it would have just went with Madara when Gaara eated him.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, but Gaara just easily whooped Madara out of the Susanoo, and the Susanoo just stayed there standing, waiting.
Oh yeah, that is true. It was there while Madara was out of it. That is weird, but I don't know. Either way, it can go like that. That is, it's not unreasonable to think that it could do that, but if that is the case, and yeah, it would take away the Susanoo, and then fucking now it's just him, and it just comes to the argument like, do you think Itachi's activation is fast enough, you know, before Flying Raijin goes through? And obviously, the whole thing with Flying Raijin is manipulating space and time. So basically, if he does Flying Raijin at that moment to teleport, you know, then it just gets to the point where it's like, bam, he teleports, and then he's about to injure him. And then the way I see it, I think Itachi can be able to activate his Susanoo before Minato can attack, and that's just me. It's just that, or better yet, as long as Itachi does a Mataratsu, like, you know, around the ground or whatever, or wherever it's gonna mark, that's kind of defeat. Like, Minato will have to mark Itachi. That's the problem. So I'm not saying he can't, you know, but he's gonna have to mark him. But it can go either way, if I'm being honest with you. It really fucking can. Like, and especially if Minato catches Itachi slipping and he's able to mark him, that's a problem. That's a big GG, because if he marks him, he can literally teleport inside of the Susanoo and just kill him. Like, there's nothing he's going to be able to do, you know? So, that's just me. Or better yet, just seal him because he's an Edo, you know? But that's just me with Minato. Edo to Edo. Sakura War Arc. I don't think she's beating Minato, in my opinion. What's it called? Minato should be over her, along with, you know, other characters as well. That's just me. Like, unless you're giving her the fucking seal, you know, then yeah, she's pretty fucking crazy strong, but that's just me. So, but hey,
yeah, she does get the drop.
Let me cover Guy. So Guy, 7th gate Guy, fucking like. All right, so if you said Sakura does have the seal thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she has the seal thing and everything, then it wouldn't be like crazy to say that she could be able to probably speed blitz either Minato or most of these characters. I bet even Obito and fucking bypasses Kamui, because she just has so much chakra and power and everything. So it's
and on stage, the stage Edo Minato is on this list as well, just so you know.
Okay, so yeah, like that's not a problem. Because you gotta remember, like, this Sakura, this is the one that was fucking able to. Like, it was weird actually, because like she couldn't do anything to Jubi Madara because of Limbo. But she was able to eventually, you know, use her speed and everything and fuck up and hit Kaguya, you know?
I think that was happenstance. I don't think that was necessarily just because she was that fast. I think she had to focus on other people. If she had focus on one person.
Well, if that's the case, and we're not equating, like, you know what I mean, with speed.
But she can't hit hard enough.
You know, then a lot of these characters are more likely to beat her than. But it's my whole thing for her is like, you know, she's storing all that chakra for all those years, right? Obviously, more chakra you have, the more powerful. So it gets to a point where it's like, how far do you quantify her? And then you have to look at what she did in the war, you know, and also against Madara and also against Kaguya. That's all you really have, you know. So it's like, with all that being said, and what we do know is her chakra was more than fucking a 6-path KCM2 Naruto with Sage Mode, which is fucking crazy. So it's like, it's either she just straight up scales so much over, she just speed blitzes and one-shots, but then again, she doesn't have ceilings, so she's not beating Edo Midoro. She's not beating any of these Edos. She'd fuck up Obito. I don't think she'd be able to kill Kurama. Sage Mode Kabuto more than likely gets fucked up unless you think his Sage Mode would still allow him to dodge and react. But that's just me. Other than that, like, a lot of other characters are going to get fucked up, but overall, like, I'm not really going to get into that. I don't want this to be too long. Seventh Gate guy, he's a fucking beast. Like, this man's crazy fucking powerful with Seventh Gates. So it just gets to the point where, he probably just straight up speed blitzes and fucks up a lot of these people.
But he doesn't have seating jutsu. How will he defeat the Edos?
Yeah, so he's not. He won't deal with the Edos. So he loses to basically all the Edos. But anyone alive, he's basically gonna be fucking up. The only people you can really argue for is like when it comes to pain. You know what I mean? Like all the passive pains, or Nagato. There's that to put into consideration, but. Seventh Gate guy is no fucking joke. Like, he's very powerful. Seventh Gate guy definitely is beating War Arc Kakashi unless he Kamui's guy, then it's a GG. But it's basically whoever hits what first. That's it. And then that decides that. Obito, he definitely has the speed to bypass Kamui or make an opening. So Obito's losing. Unless Obito does Genjutsu, then he's fucked, but that's that. KCM2 Naruto.
Can Kakashi resist the Genjutsu?
Huh?
Can Kakashi resist the Obito's Genjutsu?
I was talking about Guy, but War Arc Kakashi.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, you're fine. War Arc Kakashi, he's not beating Minato. He's not beating. He might be able to beat this Obito. It's a big stretch. But either way. Itachi, I don't think he's beating him either. Like, Itachi more likely beats this Kakashi. Like, unless you think Kamui can fucking just deal with Edo. Remember, we already had this discussion before. If Edo would still regenerate after that part's been Kamui'd, then Kakashi still has a problem. If not, and it only regenerates in the fucking Kamui dimension, then that's one way to deal with the Edo. Then Kakashi could probably be able to win. But either way, like, if it came down to these two fighting, like, he has Susanoo, all this other shit, Tsukiyomi. Like, I don't know, I just feel like Itachi's more likely to take that. While then you have Nagato, he has all his abilities. If, he gets hit by Kamui, either GG or it's not, whatever. If it's him fighting in Sage Mode Kabuto, I do think Kamui would be able to beat him. If he does Kamui to Kurama's head, he's dead. Minato would just be teleporting everywhere, so he could be able to avoid Kamui and just kill him. Or if you think he can activate Kamui before he can activate Flying Raijin, then he loses. You know what I mean? There's that. KCM2 Naruto. Just come on, bro. Like, it's narratively shown, and he's just way faster, way more powerful. He would shit on this Kakashi. Absolutely just shit on him. Yeah. EMS Sasuke, I do think KCM2 Naruto actually beats EMS Sasuke. There's a couple of statements and feats where it shows that he just has way more chakra and power, and to where Sasuke's actually getting really pissed off. He's like, is this really Naruto's power? And then the second time Sasuke feels inferior to him is when he goes into Sage Mode with KCM2. But that's just me. I do think KCM2 beats Sasuke because he just has way more chakra. The Biju and everything. So I think he'd be able to overpower this Sasuke and beat him. But, then again, Sasuke's no fucking joke either. In Mataratsu, everything, arrows, his fucking durability feat with Jubito was insane. Like, so then it's like, can he really bypass his Susanoo? So it's really weird. It's really weird. It's a very close battle. But if I had to choose one, I'd say more than likely Naruto. It's really weird to say that he most definitely beats Naruto, because I remember that moment in the anime and the manga where Sasuke's like feeling inferior, and that was just the KCM2 Naruto. I can't remember when it was. So, and then again, it happens with this Naruto.
I know there's a part where he powers up everyone by like 10 times his chakra. I know that's the part where he does up, but I don't know because I don't necessarily believe just because you have more chakra it doesn't make you more powerful.
Yeah. Well, with the more chakra thing, it does make you more powerful.
I don't think
the tail beast. The tail beast is an example. Kasame's an example. Nagato's an example. And you have Sage Mode as an example. Then you have Hashirama and Madara. Then you have Indra and Asuna.
Oh, they're just.
You know,
to be fair, they're so powerful that he can utilize that chakra block. But like Naruto, like as a kid, had 9 tails level chakra because.
Well, and that's correct. Yeah, but that's when it comes to poor chakra manipulation and chakra control. That was even confirmed in Part 1 Naruto.
I'm just saying, like by default, I don't think it just makes you that much more powerful.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, no. Like, if you put that into consideration where, like, this is even explained in the beginning of Part 1 Naruto, Sakura was actually more stronger, as crazy as it sounds, but more powerful compared to Naruto and Sasuke when it came to chakra and everything, because her chakra control was so great and precise, it actually was surpassing Sasuke and Naruto at that point. Even Kakashi blatantly says it. You know what I mean? But fucking Kakashi states right after explaining the whole chakra control and everything with the whole tree climbing and yada yada, that Naruto and Sasuke, since they have a vast and way bigger chakra pool compared to him and Sakura, that as long as they obtain that same chakra control, they would be more powerful. That's all it is. It's that simple. So, but anyways,
that break mode where Naruto and Sasuke felt weak to Sakura.
Yeah. The only moment. But that's all. In a way, there's nothing wrong with arguing for this Sasuke to be able to beat this Naruto. I just feel like this Naruto is just so fucking powerful, dude. Like, he's just crazy. His Biju avatar and everything, like, I feel like I would just be able to deal with this Sasuke. Unless you're like, oh, Sasuke's durability is Jibito level because he is able to tank, fucking the Truth-Seeking Orb,
No.
Which I don't think so. I think, for that brief moment when Jubito did attack his Susanoo with the Truth-Seeking Orb, that his Susanoo was durable just to take that at least. Now, if it was Jubito, like, himself attacking his Susanoo, he probably would have broke through it. So that's just me, but I don't know. You guys take that however you want. Minato, Okage, alive. So this is interesting because
wait.
I am going to allow that Minato to use Sage Mode, by the way.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So
wait, because we finally fucking reached this point, and I want to talk.
Wait, no, never mind. I'm not allowing that one Sage Mode.
Can I continue?
Yeah.
I don't know, can you?
Okay. So why the fuck is EMS Sasuke a whole fucking row above Itachi? Edo Itachi. And Edo
yeah. I totally forgot
that EMS Sasuke fights on a lot longer than the part that was able to keep on par with Itachi.
Yeah, and that's fair, but one thing I will say is Itachi as an Edo, he is stronger. Definitely would be stronger.
Fucking saving.
He was saving
alive Naruto and Itachi.
Like, he was saving Sasuke the whole time on Kabuto. He was basically backpacking the fight, and then when Sasuke even went to grab him with his Susanoo to force him to talk, he fucking smacks his Susanoo away like it's nothing. Like, it's clearly implied narratively that Itachi was still over that Sasuke. And I mean,
they should be relative. They are able to fight on par with each other, affect each other.
True, absolutely.
So much more.
No, true. Definitely agree. But, like, I'm just saying, like, when it comes down to it, if they had to fight each other, like, you gotta remember.
Wait a minute.
You gotta remember, like, Itachi, like, has Totsuka Blade, fucking, Yadamir, then you give him Tsukiyomi, like, those are the 3 fucking things that Sasuke's gonna be having a very hard time to deal with. So, it's...
and Nagato?
Well, it's not like I have, like, Edo Itachi 50 people below. I don't know why you're making it sound like, okay? Like, it's like... 1, 2... There's like 6, 7 people away.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that far.
Yeah.
No, not that far. I'm just saying.
Tell me some slack, man.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, if it came down to it, Itachi would more than likely win in that fight. That's just... I just see that he's just more smarter, experienced, fucking overall.
And then, know that he can use it. I just don't see it.
And then not only that, like, if you're able to argue that if Tsukiyomi is able to be effective, which I don't see why not, because they were both able to cancel each other out of Genjutsu, yada yada. Like, if he does Tsukiyomi on Sasuke, like, you know what I mean, and Sasuke can't resist it. I'm not saying he can't, but if he can't, you know what I mean, fucking he gets put in that, it's also a GG. Another thing as well, like, fucking... you know what I mean? When you go back to the whole Tsukiyomi thing and everything, if you really look at that whole statement, you know, Itachi basically says there's no way to fucking, you know what I mean, like, to get past Tsukiyomi. The only people that could be able to beat him is someone that has the blood of an Uchiha. And it doesn't mean necessarily he's equating that, like, to mean that if you have the Sharingan, you're an Uchiha, you could be able to resist or surpass it, whatever. It just means that if you're an Uchiha, that's the only way you can more likely be able to beat him, you know? So there's many ways to interpret that whole fucking thing and everything, but bottom line is, like, if you look at when he did Tsukiyomi on fucking Heavy Sasuke, who had access to CM2 with Orochimaru as well, fucking he immediately placed him in that shit. I mean, Sasuke was not able to resist it. And there's no way you're going to tell me that Sasuke should be able to resist Itachi Tsukiyomi better than fucking Kakashi in part 1. That makes no sense whatsoever. So, like... You know, if Itachi wants you in Tsukiyomi, he's putting you in Tsukiyomi. Now, when it comes to EMS Sasuke, or better yet, someone like the likes of Madara or Obito, that's understandable. You know what I mean? You could argue maybe they could resist it, whatever, yada yada. But if they can't, and it's just like any other Genjutsu, and they get put into that shit, that's a wrap. You know, so I'm just saying, it can be a win con. The only defense against that for Sasuke is if he can just resist it, or basically negate it, or whatever, and to where he can't be put into it, and that's why he's fine. That's not unreasonable. So anyways, but Itachi, I could see him being able to pull it off. I don't see why that would be a problem. He just has better tools at everything, and they basically scale to each other, and they're very close. I'd say Itachi's just a little bit more over him. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
What's it called? Now, and
there is Nagato.
Yeah, and then also, don't forget, fucking Itachi also is an Edo. So meaning he will be able to outlast Sasuke. If it really just comes down to that, who's outlasting who, Itachi's doing that. You know, so... but, and then you have Nagato. In my opinion, like, I think Nagato, Chipako Tensei, W. Like, it's just that fucking simple. Then you have a point where if Nagato does Shinra Tensei, Susanoo is chakra, she would just go right through that. I don't see why not. It fucking did it too.
Work.
Yeah, Matarazzi won't work. And you have, you know, the summonings and all that. I can, even though Sasuke does have a Matarazzi, so he can be able to take care of them, but he can utilize them to create openings. Chameleon can sneak up on him, you know, fucking grab him, whatever. Like, there's just many ways Nagato can go about it, and he should be able to pull the W. And even if you say Nagato can't win with all his abilities or his laser beams or all that, and even though he has way more chakra, fucking, then also that's Sasuke as well, fucking, to the point where if you don't think that's enough, Chipako Tensei would be enough. There's nothing Sasuke can do to do that. He would need either perfect Susanoo, or he would need, you know what I mean, fucking, you know what I mean, yeah, or he would need the levels of power that KCM1, Killer Bee, and Itachi had in order to break it. So, that's just that.
With his arrow.
Yeah,
that's
so
his only longer.
I mean, but that's just me, you know what I mean, arguing in favor for Itachi and Nagato. Could maybe Sasuke be able to pull it off and win? Sure, that's not unreasonable either. He's strong. So that's just me with that. I don't think Akage Minato alive, so that guy obviously he's alive, so he's gonna be more stronger than the Edo version, and he's no joke. And then you give him Sage Mode, it's even more crazy. So this is how I really fucking see it. Like, fucking when it comes to EMS Sasuke, like, his activization with the Susanoo and everything is crazy. So it'd be a really interesting fight. You know what I mean? Like, they'd go, he'd teleport, they'd fight. But I feel like Minato wouldn't really be able to do anything with his current attack level of power until he activates Sage Mode. Once he gets into Sage Mode, then that's where Sasuke could be having some problems. And he could be able to bypass and break through the Susanoo and everything. and that could be just that. If he is able to mark, obviously Sasuke at any point, he's dead. With KCM2 Naruto, now yes, there is a point where narratively it shows that KCM2 Naruto was being compared to Okage Minato in level of speed when it has like that one moment. Unless you want to just interpret where that was just being more meant as like a hype type scene, or for Kakashi just being confused. But there are other people that wink Minato from that and basically say, oh, well, since it showed Okage Minato to KCM2 Minato, that means that KCM2 Naruto is the same as 4th Okage Minato in base. However you want to take that, that's fine. I don't care. But either way, like, KCM2 Naruto was able to fucking slap away Biju bombs like they were fucking nothing, while Minato as an Okage had to teleport that away. He didn't slap it away. He had to teleport it away. So, if I'm being honest, if it came down to it, I do think Naruto is straight up just overpowering him and just fucking, beating his ass. Yeah, fucking Minato could be able to teleport, all this other shit, yada yada, but like, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't see, like, Minato would need to go into Sage mode, you know what I mean? And I don't think Naruto's gonna even give him like that brief moment of time to do it. I know he can instantly activate it, but Naruto's super fucking fast. He's gonna be fighting and everything. He's gonna be pressured the whole time. If he does a fucking tail beast bomb and shoots it, obviously Minato can teleport it, but then he just teleports while he's teleporting, and then bam, creates an opening and gets him. I really do think KCM2 Naruto would actually be able to beat Okage Minato, even if he did have Sage mode. Like, that's just me. But if you think that's unreasonable and you think Okage Minato is somehow, some way boxing with KCM2 Naruto, and fucking, with teleporting and along with the Sage mode amp, and that would be enough to body his ass, sure, fine, whatever. It's not completely unreasonable. It's just, in my opinion, at least from what we see and everything, KCM2 Naruto is just on a whole other level. He's doing shit that have not seen until we come across people like Hashirama and Madara. Like, name me one character that was able to smack away tail beast bombs like they were fucking nothing, just with their body, So, I don't know. I mean,
about those tail beast bombs, they were weaker tail beast bombs than a full 9 tails Bijo bomb. So you could argue that, okay, since they're weaker, Naruto was able to do that. But if it was a full 9 tail beast bomb, he might have not been able to.
But see, take a look at this though. If Minato is in that exact scenario, do you see him just slapping away those tail beast bombs?
No, I don't think anyone's slapping them away like how Naruto did. But
that's all I'm trying to say. Yeah, true. He could be able to teleport all of them. Yeah, for sure. And then he could just fucking teleport it right back on them and fucking damage them with it.
He's going up to them and high-fiving them away like how Naruto did, but he's still dealing with it the same way, or a similar way.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what I will say, like, I don't think KCM2 Naruto is just straight up speed blitzing Minato. I don't think that's going to be the case because, once again, Flying Raijin is very broken, space and time and yada yada. So he'll be able to teleport, deal with Naruto because of that. But then it just gets to the point where if Naruto does a tail beast bomb, you know what I mean, and it's about to just nuke the whole fucking battlefield. Like, I'm sorry, but Minato does not have durability to not even, like, you can maybe argue with Sage Mode he can tank it. Because you have fucking Tendo Pain while fatigued and exhausted tanking a tail beast bomb to the face, against a V2 Six Tails. You also have Seijo Minato and Edo tanking a Jubi Madara Taijutsu kick. Didn't get split in half or open or anything, just got kicked and flew. So like maybe in Sage mode he can be able to tank that tail beast bomb explosion. But I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's weird.
You could argue he just runs away and comes back.
So that too, yeah, he could just teleport, run away. But like, then again, like, you know what I mean, like, fucking, unless you're like referring to like him having kunai marks, obviously around the world and shit, whatever, and marks, then yeah, he could just teleport away and then come right back. That too, because I believe it's even stated that the Flying Raijin, it doesn't matter the distance, as long as there's a mark or a kunai with the mark, you can teleport anywhere. I'm 100% sure that's stated. So yeah, he should.
Can he use body pressure as well?
Yeah, of course. What's it called? So like Minato is going to be fine with speed and teleporting. Now, I'm being honest. If we're comparing his body flicker to KCM2 Naruto, that's not even a competition. Remember, this Minato only has his own chakra in Sage mode. So like, if he's in Sage mode, maybe that could be on par with KCM2 Naruto. But KCM2 Naruto has half of the entire fucking chakra pool of the Nine Tails. You know what I mean? And is very fast with his body flicker. To where he's over here speed blitzing and catching Rinnegan Obito and Edo Madara's fucking attacks before they can even do anything, and realize. So, he's very fast.
Of how when Naruto slapped the Bijo bombs, so Kakashi with Mangekyou Sharingan saw Minato.
Yeah. So like,
and he didn't see Minato for years, and it was dead, and it was never hinted of him coming back, and he still saw Minato.
Mm-hmm.
So you could argue that if Kakashi, it reminded him of Minato.
Yeah, like his power and everything. So like, basically to the point where it kind of gets to the point where it's like, if that's the whole argument, then obviously give Sage Mode, then he should be able to beat KCM2 Naruto. But without that wink and everything, and just if we're just looking at feats itself. You know what I mean? To where it's like Minato teleported it while Naruto slapped several of those away. It'd be really weird to see or think Minato could just straight up slap tail beast bombs away with his body. So like overall, like when it comes to like AP or exchanges and all that, I do think Naruto has that definitely over Minato. So Minato's going to have to be teleporting, timing his rising Gons, creating openings, using Sage Mode to help with his durability and fucking fight back. And it'll just basically get to the point where either Minato just gets outlasted and Naruto wins because of that, or Naruto still overpowers and kills him. Or Minato, just fucking teleports away and that's that, Like, he could always just teleport away. But obviously, if we're making it to the point where they have to fight to the death, then I would say, Naruto more than likely would win because he can just outlast him. So,
I mean, even just that, I don't know if you guys brought it up, but he can make a lot of shadow clones. He should always be capable of creating their own.
And that as well. He can make shadow clones, all that. So, like, it's an interesting fight. Don't get me wrong. It's interesting, but, like, and could Minato pull it off? Sure. He has ceiling, you name it, whatever. He's smart. But I don't know. Like, I think KCM2 Naruto does surpass that Minato in the Nine Tails incident, if I'm being honest with you. So, and even if you give him Sage Mode is a crazy-ass amp. But, like, I don't even think that would still be enough. I really don't. He can, and he can't use it forever either, So, he'd have to gather it back and reactivate it. And with him dealing with an opponent like KCM2 Naruto, he's not having the time to do that. He would need KCM in order to get Sage Mode back immediately, So that's just that. But anyways, fourth Hokage Minato versus Sasuke. If I'm being honest with you, can go either way. I do think fucking Minato more likely takes it though. That's just me, but you can argue for both. It is what it is. Then you have KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto, which is just a fucking monster. So yeah, he fucking shits on most of these people on here. Like, it's not even a competition. Like, fucking, like, yeah, it's just that simple. Like, unless you think Nagato, okay, I'm not talking about the passive pains. Unless you think Nagato fucking could be able to react and absorb all his chakra while Naruto engages a hit on him, which, that's just that. Like, his jutsu activation could be able to activate just like it did with Killer Bee. But then again, like, I don't know, whatever. But I think KCM2...
create shade clones. Are we talking about KCM Minato?
No, I'm talking about Naruto KCM2 Sage Mode.
Okay, no, for some reason I thought you were talking about Minato for a second. I was like, can't forget he can make Shadow.
Yeah. So, KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto, he's just a monster. He's just crazy powerful, and it's like, I don't know, bro. Like, I do think he does beat Seventh Gate Guy. I do think he beats, all the other characters below. Fucking, like, trying to think, like Itachi. Like, yeah, he has Susanoo, but I think that Naruto would just be able to overpower and break through it. and so he would have to use the Yata mirror. And then obviously once Naruto realizes like the Yata mirror can't be fucked with, he just basically teleport elsewhere or just shoot a big ass Biju Dama on the ground or something. I don't know, but fucking what's it called? He should be able to beat Itachi. Like fucking Naruto's not dumb. He even states to Killer Bee, do not look at his eyes. If you're caught in Tsukiyomi or hit by Mataratsu, you're basically done for. So he's not going to be looking at his eyes. He's going to be using Sage Mode to sense him and everything and deal with him. So he'd be fine with all that. So he should be able to beat Itachi. I don't see why not. Now, I'll be honest with you. Naruto don't have no ceiling. So technically that's the only thing that could fuck him over. But regardless, whatever. If we're talking about like alive in that same version of Itachi, then I do think Naruto takes it. If it's Edo, then Edo would obviously win because he can't be sealed and he could seal Naruto. That's simple. Same thing with Nagato. If you think Nagato can activate Jutsu activation, then he could just take his chakra and everything, even though if he takes Sage Mode Nature Energy, that should be able to turn him into a frog, in my opinion, but whatever. What's it called? But it just come down to the same thing where Naruto would just be bodying him over and over, and then basically fucking Nagato just, outlasts him, whatever, and then just fucking seals him with Chipaka Tensei. And that all the other characters just get body. It's that fucking simple. Now with fucking Obito, with the Rinnegan and everything, he's also getting bodied by KCM2 Sage Mode. Like, I don't know. Like, fucking, I don't know why you have him over Naruto, so I'll hear you out, but like, this guy is no fucking joke. He was over here contending with Jubito, and then even said, alright, I'm going to add Sage Mode to the Nine Tails full Tail Beast Bomb, and Jubito got scared. He was like, yeah, fuck that, and had to summon the Divine Tree to deal with him. So, I don't think Rinnegan Obito is fucking with KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto. That's just me. Like, even with the Rinnegan abilities and all that, he's just basically gonna get fucking Speed Blitz or fucked. Like, that's just me, though. Fucking... If we have Minato Sage Mode as an Edo, obviously Naruto loses because he can't seal him, while Minato does have sealing and yada yada. I would still say Naruto should be more powerful than that Minato. But, what's it called? He's not winning because of that. Tobirama, like, against Naruto, same thing, loses because he'll just get either, he can't seal him or whatever, outlasted, GG. Edo, same thing. What's it called? And then Hashirama, like, come on, it's Hashirama, bro. Like, there's even a point where the only time Naruto ever got compared to Hashirama was when he went into Sage Mode with KCM2. And Hashirama was like, wow, he almost has as much chakra as I do. And basically, however you want to interpret, like, what he's referring to, whether if he's alive or dead. But if it's just dead, then that's even worse for him. If it's alive, then maybe at that point now, Naruto's able to come throw hands. But the moment Hashirama is stacking Sage Mode and shit and doing all that with Wood Style, I just don't see Naruto taking that. That's just me. But anyways, then we have Hiruzen Young. I'm assuming this is Prime Hiruzen.
Yeah, but he's feetless.
Literally feetless and everything. Like, it's fine with the whole hypothetical thing and everything, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't even think Prime Hiruzen will be fucking KCM2 Sage Mode level. Like, that's just crazy. like, come on, bro. Like, not even KCM2 he would be, like, if I'm being honest with you. So, like, that's just weird.
Yeah, it's just the data books again.
Yeah, like, and then even EMS Sasuke, I think, would be able to beat Prime Hiruzen. That's just me. I think Obito would be able to beat Prime Hiruzen. But, like, I get the whole fucking Prime Hiruzen thing. It's whatever. Then you have fucking Alive Tobirama. I don't think he's beating Sage Mode Minato as well. Fucking basically, Sage Mode Minato should just be superior especially when he's in Sage Mode. Tobirama already stated that he's better at teleportation, yada yada, all these other things. Like, that's just me. Then also to the fact where since Minato has Sage Mode, he will be able to sense and deal with Tobirama's attacks. So even if for some reason Tobirama was actually faster than Minato, which I do not think is the case, I think Minato is actually faster, he would just be able to dodge and sense it either way, and he'd just be able to deal with Tobirama just like Madara did. So yeah, Sage Mode Minato wins. Kage Minato, since he does have access to Sage Mode as well, he'd be fine, he'd win, he's alive. That gives him more of an advantage, and they're basically comparable when they're in their Edo states. And then Minato is still surpassing him while it's in Edo, so now that he's alive, he would scale a little bit more over. Give him Sage Mode, that's not even fair. So they'll be fine. They'll be fighting each other, feeling each other out, whatever. And Minato would just win. He can also seal, so that's fine. Alive Minato with Sage Mode and Edo Minato with Sage Mode is beating Tobirama. Y'all can suck my dick for anyone that's listening. I'm sorry to say that to you, Ken. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but
yeah,
Minato's not losing. I don't give a fuck.
I was like, yeah, you're way too tame. Like, I expected.
Like, I love me some, bro. Like, remind you, like, I'm not trying to shit on him. I love me Tobirama. He is cool. He's a badass. But, like, he's just not beating Minato, bro. It's just narratively implied that Minato's way better. Tobirama even states that he's better. Like, it's just so, like, it's just dumb. I don't know why people argue about it. It's so stupid, Then you have...
okay, I'm going to be 100% honest here. The reason why Tobirama is the where he is because I did allow myself to get influenced by Noodles.
Say that again? I can't hear you.
I did allow myself to be influenced by Noodles' arguments. I'm just going to be honest.
Okay, that's fine. What's it called? And then... what was it? Fucking... I'm trying to think. And then what the fuck? KCM 2 Sage Mode loses into Tobirama as well?
Wait, no.
Hell no!
Where do you see that? The KCM2 is...
Yeah, he's below! Tobirama's above him.
Where?
You're talking about Naruto, right?
Naruto! KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto is below
The only reason
Tobirama.
why he's down there is because for a brief moment when I made this list specifically, is because I had brought in for a while the idea that Tobirama he doesn't have the combat speed, but he can react to unstable Jubito. I don't believe that anymore.
Okay. Well, either way, I'm telling you right now, fucking the only reason why I already said this. The only reason why Naruto even loses to that Tobirama because he can't fucking seal him. But if we're talking about alive, which you do have alive over him, no. That Tobirama, that motherfucker lost to Kinkaku and Ginkaku with fucking a portion of the Nine Tails chakra. Like, and then everyone has the whole fucking excuse argument that, he's probably super fatigued and exhausted. You know how many fucking Naruto characters are fatigued or exhausted and they're still pulling W's?
I don't know. That's true, but I don't know too many people who can fight two characters with Nine Tails level chakra and then either, so.
Darui did. Darui?
No, he didn't. No one.
What do you mean? Darby did. He fucked up Ken and Gin in base and then sealed one of them, and the other one got enraged, went into the Nine Tails power, and then from there, Darby was still able to react and dodge with no flying Raijin, remind you, or anything like that, and then just ended up sealing him as well. And mind you, Choji...
He did admit that he wasn't going to be able to do that by himself, and he did get help.
Not even. He was dodging and dealing with him, and he was perfectly fine, and then Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino were able to fucking even fight back against that Kinkaku with Nine Tails chakra. Like, come on, bro.
I'll go back and rewatch, but I remember him getting help and all that with that. I could be wrong.
It's in the anime and everything, bro. Like, I literally had to rewatch it all and go over it when I was doing the whole Minato and Tobirama vid that I came out with, because deadass, like, I was trying to actually make sure, like, I wasn't just saying shit to say shit,
I just, at the time of me making the list, I had bought into something that's just not as true as I believe.
Yeah, so like, so we get to basically the point that I'm making is if Dari is able to deal with these characters, okay, and along with other characters that were momentarily able to deal with him, and then Dari just ends up sealing him anyways. Like, you're telling me Tobirama alive with flying Raijin, sealing jutsu, kunais and water style, could not be able to deal with them. That's really fucking weird. So then it gets to the point where, obviously I won't say he's at full power because it was clearly obvious he was fatigued. He had black marks and everything. But he didn't say, I'm going to go die. I have no chakra, blah, blah, so I'm going to die, whatever. Bye, guys. No, he says, I'm going to be the sacrificial pawn. I'm going to basically fight them and hold them off long enough so you guys can get away. Because that would literally defeat the purpose. You know what I mean? Similar to with the whole Naruto kid arc thing. Where when they're kids, Shikamaru was like, all right, I'm the only one that can actually buy you guys enough time. So I'll go hold them off. I have my shadow, possession, whatever. You go. it would be very retarded and defeat the purpose for Tobirama to go fight them and immediately die because he has no chakra or stamina. And then guess what? They're still on their tail. And guess what? They all still die, which did not happen.
Yeah, no, this is something I was even talking with low-key, where what I was talking about was the reason why I don't like using the Ginkaku fight specifically to power scale a full-power Tobirama is because there's so much that we don't know about that.
True.
We don't get to see.
No, yeah, true. And I respect that too, but it's like basically what I'm trying to say is he clearly had to fight them briefly. You know what I mean? We don't know what happened, whatever, to hold him off, and then he dies. You know, it is what it is, probably because he ran out of chakra or stamina, and he wasn't able to teleport away, and that's why he died. So, and it is what it is, you know. But it's just either way, like even while fatigued or tired, it's just really weird. It's just really weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's really fucking weird. You have pain. You have so many examples. You have Minato, like, you name it, that are fucking tired, whatever, yada, yada, and they're still fine, and they're winning, and they're fucking killing people, and succeeding, and you name it. So, I don't, like, it is what it is. I'm just saying there's that. And then not only that, what makes it even worse, dude, is that wasn't the first time of him fighting them. He fought them the first time at a fucking peace treaty, okay, with the fucking second Raikage. And they came and fucking, you know, ambushed him in the second Raikage, and he was literally put to the brink of death and almost died, and more than likely escaped because of flying Raijin. You know, like, the fact that he fought just them two, you know what I mean, and almost died is weird, along with the help of the second Raikage, you know what I mean, so there's all of that to put into consideration, and then has to fight him a second time, knows what their abilities are, what they could do, you name it, and still fucking loses. It's just really weird, dude. And then you have this fucking Darui, okay, out of all fucking characters, you know, that pulls up and just speed blitzes twice, at least while they're in base, though. They were using the 6-path tools, okay. While, you know, speed blitzes them, fucks them up, gets one of the tools, seals them, then fighting against the V2, deals with him, gets a little bit of help from the other people, and then seals him as well. That simple. So,
didn't Darui get help figuring out how the tools work since he had his teammates got sealed or something like that?
Correct. So, like, the teammates that were there basically... Well, to be fair, it actually really didn't help him because he was analyzing and trying to understand how the tools are being used, but each person on his team were being sealed for different reasons, and it actually confused him more. It came to a conclusion where he's like, wait a minute, like... She didn't even say a fucking word, yet she still got sealed. So, overall, it got to a point where he realized it was a time limit. He realized if you say a certain word repeatedly, blah, blah, like, you know, this and that can happen. So, if it was just him there, he more than likely would have been sealed and instantly died, and he would not have won against them. So, yes, because they were there, that's why he was the last one standing. But then there's even a point where he does, like, his lightning style, and then just with his speed alone, he's able to literally... speed blitz both of them twice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just cuts their arm off and everything, and he's able to steal one of the tools, okay, you know, and then steal the other one and everything. There was also a point where he was about to get sealed as well, but because he kept saying sorry over and over and over, it changed the word on the tool, and so it was able to reverse the sealing process to where he was able to catch one of them off guard and land another attack and cut his arm off, steal the tool, seal him, and then that's when he's dealing with the V2. So,
to be fair, Dari, when he fought them, he was fighting, we do have to take into account that he was fighting Edos, and Tobirama was dealing with an army of, like, what was it, like 50 elite Jonin?
It was 18 elite Jonin, and for all we know, they could be fodder, and then better yet, we have...
Because we do have that bench on what elite Jonin would be, which would be somewhere within an Asuma tier level character, and I mean...
but you gotta remember, then you have fucking Obito destroying a whole fucking elite Anbu elite, you know, unit, and then you got Minato soloing a whole fucking war by himself.
Yeah, but he has...
thousands of ninja.
He has Hashirama cells, he has Setsu on him.
Not even! Minato! Yellow Flash joining Minato.
I'm talking about Obito.
I know, I'm just saying, but then you have Minato, so it's like, what's the excuse, you know, like...
Wait, weren't they 18 S-rank shinobi?
Yeah, 18 S-rank shinobi, and that's fine and all, but you gotta remember, we have no idea who these fucking shinobi are, okay? And two, for all we know, Yeah, sure, they can have elite status, whatever, but that doesn't mean anything in Naruto. We've seen plenty of ninjas have elite or whatever, and they're just, whatever. We have Anbu Ninja, we have, you name it. Like, then you have...
I think we can give Tobirama a little bit of slack here. I think
that's fine. No, but I'm just saying,
not like the level that a lot of people put them, but I do think a little bit of slack should be given.
And that's fine, but then we have fucking Minato as, mind you, not Hokage, joining Minato, who is fucking soloing wars by himself, fighting against thousands of elite ninja. Okay, you name it. They're not just gonna fucking throw in let's just throw in some tunings and gennings to solve the war. No, they're gonna be sending their jonings, tunings, gennings, you fucking name it. Okay, the elite of the elite to win a war.
It was a bad war. By the time they got towards the end, they might have just been throwing whatever they had at each other.
Well, yeah, they were. We know that they were. Kids were participating, you name it. But then you have to the point where Minato shows up on the battlefield and solos 1,000 ninja while he only had 10 Konoha shinobi behind him. He killed 1,000 ninja by himself. And that could have easily consisted of elites, S-rank, jonings, tunings, you fucking name it. Okay? The only one that we know wasn't there for a fact was the Sushi Kage. Okay, which that wouldn't have mattered because he would probably just kill them too. Okay, but either way, fucking, he sold the whole war to the point where the Susukage literally conceded the war and said it only took one of Konoha's shinobi to defeat us completely and kill 1,000 shinobi all at once. We're conceding the war. There's nothing to argue about. Enough is enough. That's it. And they made a peace treaty, and that was it. So,
for the sake of this, then I can agree that Edo and Alive Tobirama shouldn't be below Minato. Are you okay with that? Because we know that they should at least be able to fight on the same part of EMS.
Yeah, and that's fine. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to shit on Tobirama. I'm just saying, when you compare and contrast with other things, it's there really is not a fucking excuse. And remember, you're talking about joining Minato, who's also getting fatigued. Remember, you're in war, you're fighting, you're getting tired. So it's really weird, dude. It's really fucking weird. And at the end of the day, what I can at least say for Tobirama is this, and this is going to probably make it sound a little bit even more worse for him as well. We know they weren't using the tools against him, because if they were, he would have been sealed and could not have been brought back by the Edo Tensei. So the fact that they weren't even using the fucking tools against Tobirama to kill him, and he still lost twice, is just really weird, and it is what it is. So, but anyways, let's continue on. So then we have Minato, Edo, KCM 2. So that's fine. I do think Sagemo, KCM 2, Naruto would be able to beat that Minato. But what's it called? With Minato having Flying Raijin, teleporting, you name it, that could be obviously be able to help him out. And then if Minato does Sagemo, which there should be no reason he can't do it either, and it's actually easier to get Sage Nature Energy in KCM form, where you can instantaneously get it. You don't have to wait a brief moment or gather it. It just comes naturally. So he can be able to use Sage Mode, and then now it's Sage Mode versus Sage Mode, and basically the only difference is Minato has Flying Raijin. My money's on Minato. It's that fucking simple.
Else has experience.
Yeah. So my money's on Minato. It's that simple, and yeah. Then you have, what else do we have? So you think KCM2 Minato is beating Edo Madara as well, and Edo Hashirama?
Yeah, I think he could. I think he'd be able to outpower them, and he also, if we're talking specifically Edo, we do know that Minato has sealing abilities, which can seal the Nine Tails.
Yeah.
Kushina confirms this because she even begs the Minato to seal the Nine Tails in a different way, meaning he can. And if these are weakened versions of them, then I don't see why a KCM Minato who is more powerful than.
Well, one thing you can say for Minato, because I don't think this is unreasonable to say that Minato is way faster than Hashirama and Madara. I don't think that's unreasonable. It's KCM speed and tuning and all that with Sage Mode along with Flying Raijin. So yeah, he's definitely would be faster, and obviously if he's faster, he can be able to touch him and then either seal him or mark him, whatever. But this is where it gets interesting, because Madara has the Rinnegan, you know what I mean? And the Rinnegan can allow him to still do, you know what I mean, either like Chewbacca Tensei or some meteors and all that shit. And so, meaning Minato would have to do like, you know, the Biju Avatar to destroy them and everything and whatnot. And that's not a problem. But in my opinion, and let me know what you think, Loke, he should still have access to Limbo with the Rinnegan. And that's a problem.
He does.
Yeah, we agree on that.
So if he has Limbo, Minato's not beating that. He can't do anything. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's either Minato just straight up speed blitzes and seals, or better yet, fucking Minato fights Madara briefly. Madara realizes he's way faster, but he's still contending. You know, whatever. Like, and it wouldn't be completely out of this world narratively to say that Edo Madara can't at least react to Minato or keep up, because he was reacting to KCM2 Minato and all that other shit too. You know, and with Wood style and everything, and so like I really do think that like Minato would, you know, fight, and then he'd, you know, catch Madara slipping at certain moments, whatever. You know, Madara might even do his perfect Susanoo, and you could argue that probably could be able to overpower Minato's Biju Avatar, but if the moment Minato goes into Sage mode, then he might be able to give Madara a run for his money or go back and forth, whatever. You could still maybe imply Madara is still way more powerful and fucking him up, but the moment Madara whips out Rinnegan and uses Limbo, I just don't see it happening, dude. Like, and he should also be able to use the chains as well with the Ghetto statue, you know, so that's a thing as well. So I don't know. I don't think Minato's going to be able to win that. Like, as much as you would think Minato should be able to win it because he should just be way more faster, it's Madara, bro, that we're talking about. Like, but...
Okay, worst case scenario, and I know, like, I can't remember. I heard someone say, well, we've never seen Minato summon Mom and Pa, which I find ridiculous. If Naruto and Dragon he can also use... they can use Frog Song, and worst case scenario, Minato just keeps them off guard.
Yeah, that's true too. Like, it's, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm just saying, Madara could be able to pull a W, but if you just argue basically like Minato just straight up speed blitz and seal, or summon Mom and Pa and be like, hey, do that frog genjutsu, whatever, then yeah, sure.
And you know, Mom and Pa would definitely listen to Minato. I think they respect him enough. So anyone who wants to argue Mom and Pa wouldn't just immediately use Frog Song, no. I think if Minato said to, I think they would.
Yeah, now with Hashirama, I'm telling you right now, if it comes to just brute power, even Minato with Sage Mode and everything, he's not beating Hashirama. Wood style could absorb and counter his chakra, and also he would just get fucking bodied by that big fucking 1,000 statue thing. The only way Minato's beating Hashirama is not in competition of fighting and power, but instead it had to be speed and sealing. That's the only way I see him winning.
Well, that's why he's down there, mostly because of that reason, so...
Yeah. Now, unless you think Hashirama could be able to react with his jutsu activization and all that, and use Wood style, blah blah, you name it, and you know, then now he's able to deal with Minato, then yeah, no, he doesn't win. But if you don't think that, and you think Minato is straight up speed blitzes with teleportation, you name it, then yeah, he gets sealed, whatever. Fucking.
I just want to add that if Madara uses Limbo, doesn't. If Madara uses Limbo, it's over.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's no way he's
doesn't matter what he does.
Yeah.
Limbo.
Fucking EMS Madara loses to Edo Madara. I strongly do believe that. Madara has hot shells. He has the Rinnegan, which also amps him and everything. He has Wood style. He has perfect Susanoo as well. He has Limbo. He has fucking the Ghetto statue. Like, I'm sorry, but EMS Madara is not beating Edo Madara. Like, there's people I know. There's a lot of people that actually think EMS Madara bodies Edo, but I just know. There's just no way, dude. Like, Edo Madara is a fucking beast. Now, EMS Madara would clap Edo Hashirama. That's fine. But Edo Madara? With all his enhancements? No. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same as if, like, we're talking about Hashirama. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, obviously you beat him, you know, because he was able to contend against Alive, Hashirama, whatever, and that Alive buff should be able to maybe outscale that Edo Hashirama and allow him to win, you know, you would think. But Edo Madara, dude, like, I'm telling you, bro, you're capping. He has Zetsu cells, which makes you more stronger, you name it. Even Kabuto even states, like, Hashirama was way more stronger than you, but with the power of his and yours as well, now, you know, you're way more powerful, blah, blah. Like, there's so many statements, there's so many things. The Rinnegan hacks ability, like, he could just Shino Tensei his Susanoo away. He can absorb the chakra from his Susanoo. You know, he has Shibaku Tensei. He can just summon meteors, and yes, EMS Madara probably could be able to slice them, whatever, but he can, you know, utilize that to pressure him, whatever. He has Wood Style that can also neutralize chakra. I just feel like Edo Madara has many more ways to deal with EMS Madara. And especially if he just does Limbo, like, like that's GG. So that's why I believe Edo Madara has taken that, but that's just me.
Not just you.
Fucking then Alive Hashirama would I do think Alive Hashirama loses to Madara as well. The only reason is because if Alive Hashirama was there, Madara is not a fucking idiot, and if he's actually wanting to just immediately win the fight, he would just do Limbo. But if he was wanting to fuck around and fight with Hashirama, then obviously Hashirama is gonna be, you know, is gonna be bullying him and whatnot. But like it'd be an interesting fight because, you know, he'll have Wood Style too. He'll have the Rinnegan abilities and all that, and even though Hashirama would be more powerful and, you know, be fucking up all that stuff and whatever, but, you know, they basically fight each other, fill each other out. You know, Hashirama would be holding back because he doesn't want to kill him. You know, that's it. But, you know, and basically that can give Madara an opportunity to still use Limbo and he would still win. Or if Hashirama is bloodlusted and fucking Edo Madara is not willing to go for the kill or use Limbo, then yeah, you could argue Hashirama just straight up fucking kills him and that's it. But you could easily argue Edo Madara to be able to beat Alive Hashirama, especially with Limbo and the Rinnegan ability. And that's just that. Like, Edo Rinnegan Madara was even able to beat Edo Hashirama. So, like, you know, I mean, there's a point where Hashirama was, like, on his knees, and fucking... actually, no. That was Alive Madara. My bad. Because Edo Hashirama still was able to beat Edo Madara. Because he had him with the fucking Dignity Gates. Yeah, the Dignity Gates. But then again, you could just easily argue that Madara was just playing around and having fun, you know, with him. I mean, like, because if he used Limbo, what the fuck would Edo Hashirama do, you know? So, but I don't know. I'll let you take that as it is you want, Ken. I'm just saying that's just me. Fucking.
That's Sage Mode Hashirama.
Sage Mode Hashirama. Okay, yeah. Yeah, he'd still lose to Limbo. Doesn't matter. Ten Tails, yep. That's fine. No, you know what I just thought of though? Could Madara's Limbo fuck up the Ten Tails? Or no?
It depends on which version of Madara. I think the one that comes after probably could. I don't think the other ones had the attack power to do it.
Okay.
You could argue if he no. I don't need Limbo clones. I was gonna say you could argue if he makes a lot of Limbo clones, he could just have a bunch of them split and separate the chakra like by ripping it like that, but
yeah. What about Limbo against Jubito? Wasn't there a point where Madara made a statement where he basically says that he could still be able to deal with Jubito when it comes down to it?
He didn't say that, but he did. There's a statement where he's like, he basically implies that Jubito would be a pain.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't confirm that he would lose to him, but he doesn't confirm he can beat him either. Just like,
gotcha. Okay, so it's just a speculation statement. Okay.
Yep.
What do you think on that though? Do you think Limbo could be able to deal with Jubito? I don't know.
No,
I don't think so. Yeah, he's 6-pass. Yeah, so
he'd have to, because the thing with the Limbo is, I think if the caster of Limbo gets beat, like with regular Shadow Clones, they lose it.
Yeah.
So if they can't see Limbo, they can deal with Limbo by just taking out Madara. If they can beat Madara, then
yeah. Okay.
That's it.
So there's that. Madara with just Sage Mode with no eyes. Okay. Yep, that's fine. He should lose to Jubito.
Then Alive, Sage Mode Hashirama.
Yep, that's fine.
An unstable Jubito.
Yep.
And a stable
One thing I will say, if Minato was not nerfed mentally and everything, and he was bloodlusted like he always is, and he had Sage Mode and KCM 2 Biju Avatar form and did like fucking Sage Mode like Naruto did with the Biju Bomb, you could argue he could be able to kill mindless Jubito.
I don't think he'd be able to kill mindless Jubito. I think he'd be able to fight him, but I don't think he'd be able to kill him.
The only reason why I do think he would have been able to kill him is because after Naruto and Minato did their big-ass massive Rasengan with Sage Energy, it was breaking through all his like black orbs and shit and everything and pressuring Jubito. Then Naruto's like, alright, well, since that won't work, I'll just do it with a Tail Beast Bomb. And literally, I kid you not, when he said that, Jubito was like, oh, hell no. And he immediately like fucking started summoning the Divine Tree and fucking just used that to deal with and said, alright, hacks for the win, baby. Because not even him thought he could be able to tank that Tail Beast Bomb. So I don't know, bro. It was at least implying and seemed that is if Jubito got hit by that, he was fucked, you know?
I still think Jubito would get more of the wins, to be honest, though, but I see your point.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. But, like, and that's for mindless Jubito. Obviously, if we're talking about, like, fucking in control Jubito, then it's interesting because once again, like I still heavily believe Jubito was holding back. You know what I mean? That he was holding back against Minato and Naruto and all these other people. Like there were certain key moments where he's going, you know, full at it, and you could tell when speed blitzes or whatever. But I don't know. Like it's really weird to say that he wasn't. I'm pretty sure he was because it was just inconsistent. It's one moment where he's completely overpowering them and they can't do anything. And then all the other moments is where they're actually fighting back and, you know, and putting him on defense, you know. So, I don't know. Like, it's really weird. And I do feel like if it came down to it, that Jubito would kill KCM2 Minato. You know what I mean? Even with the Sage and Biju Avatar and everything. Like, I'm not saying that Jubito could be able to tank the Tail Beast Bomb with Sage Mode, but I don't even think it would get to that point. I think Jubito would just straight up just blitz and just kill him, you know, if he really wanted to. Because he's 6 pass, you know? Like, it's so weird and stupid. Like, he's fucking 6 pass level for a reason. You know what I mean? That's why the whole thing with Tobirama being 6 path or Jubito level, it's fucking beyond me, you know? Like, literally, you can't quantify, you can't scale that. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about a 6 path level opponent. Why in God's name is now Tobirama miraculously 6 pass level when the motherfucker, you know, somehow dies by Darui level ninja? You know, if I'm being honest with you, you know, it's so fucking stupid. But anyways,
like since Hashirama isn't 6 pass, there's no way Tobirama is 6 pass.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, and even Tobirama states and tells Hashirama like he's even stronger than you, brother. Like, yeah. If that doesn't prove that Tobirama is not Jubito level, like I don't know what else fucking does, bro. You know?
No, I agree. Tobirama is not. Jubito level.
You know, so that's why that whole fucking tag thing or mark, you know, scene where people wank the fuck out of Tobirama because of it and say, oh, well, this means he's Jubito level now, and meaning he could be able to fuck up anybody. It's so fucking dumb. But anyways, fucking, Alive, yeah, it's fine. Yep, that's fine as well. I think Amato would kill Guy with Limbo. I think the fight only progressed as far as it did because Madara just loves to fight and AKA dance. You know what I mean? So and it's once in a it's so fucking rare to ever fight a Taijutsu user that's that powerful and with the 8th gate. You know what I mean? So
before this goes on, I will admit that me and Loki had talked about that one, and I did agree that the Guy probably goes below to be Madara. Yeah. I just misremembered how the fight had gone.
But it's fine though, because if we're at least comparing like with stats and everything, like even if Madara was going like full out, it was clearly shown that he couldn't do anything. Like Madara is not gonna hold back enough to the point where he's just completely getting shitted on. You know what I mean? So like, but if he was serious on beating Guy even with the 8th gate, he would have just done Limbo and that's it, problem solved. Now with Jubito, that's interesting because obviously he doesn't have Limbo, and he was fucking up Madara, and Madara is stronger than Jubito, you know?
Yeah.
So
I feel like Guy would fuck up Jubito.
Yeah, I do feel like he would have fucked him up, and that would have been that. And mind you, this is fatigued, exhausted Guy. Guy's not at full power. He's been fighting in the war for days. He's been using the gates, you know what I mean, out of commission and everything. Like, he's not at full power, you know what I mean? He's still recovering, name it, and goes in the 8th gate and performs how he did. So, especially if we're talking about hypothetical full power 8th gate Guy, like, no, hell no. Obito's getting his ass whooped. I don't even think he even wins against the 8th gate Guy that we saw in the show. So, that's just that.
Most likely not.
Yeah. Fucking. Then for 6 past Naruto, that's fine, awesome.
Yeah, but one more thing regarding that Tobiyama Seal thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only time I've ever seen you get back up into a corner by Noodles. Like, but it was your fault. You should have never feed rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It was the only time I've ever seen something like that in your debate.
Oh yeah, it's something very hard to even like debate and argue against because it's something that clearly happened. You know what I mean? And then, but the problem is them obviously overlooking the context of it. You know what I mean? And they're exploiting that and being ratty and being ignorant.
It's not
you know what I mean?
consistent.
You know what I mean? It's not. Yeah, it's not a consistent showing. It's completely doesn't make any sense. Like you can't.
Yeah, it's one time thing.
You know what I mean? Like it's to the point where it's like you're basically pushed in a corner where like. Yeah, it may sound like it's very reasonable on their end, and like, yeah, like it happened, blah, blah, so that means it should be that, right? But then it's not, you know what I mean? And so just being put in that type of situation is not, you know what I mean? Like, not the greatest. So that's why it's very hard to argue against and back. And then obviously because I was entertaining, his little fucking rabbit holes instead of just immediately just debunking it and saying why that doesn't work, that's why it was still making it look strong, But it's not, you know what I mean? If you fucking call it out for what it is, you know what I mean? It's the scaling is crystal fucking clear, 6-pack level for a reason, you name it. It's blatantly just dumb, that would make fucking technically KCM 2 Minato also Jubito level, which is not the fucking case, a 6-pack level. No. So it's just blatantly ignorant. But anyways, fucking.
The thing is that you were debating, so you should have made sure that you watched that fight, and then you would be like, yeah, Doodles is definitely right on this, so I'm not gonna fuck that shit because I'm gonna lose this point, I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna lose this shit, which you did. Like that shit, that 1 point you lost because of this shit, but
of course
it's not important. It's not important.
Yeah.
Nothing big. I'm just saying.
No, I know. But with the Naruto 6 paths, that's fine. That's great. Yeah, he's just on a whole. Motherfucker's just built different at that point. Jesus. Then you have Madara. Yep, that's fine. Who the fuck is Sasuke?
Up there.
Damn, why are you disrespecting? Oh, okay, because it's just Naruto with no QB cloak. Okay, I see what you're saying. About to say, bro.
And then there's Naruto with fucking cloak there.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Ken. I feel like Guy, Madara, Obito, and Mindless Obito should have been in the 6-pack tier, like behind those 4. But they should have been there because, even Obito Mindless is 6-packs. So
okay, so
I have a bias.
Okay, so this Madara, both Rinnegan. Okay, DMS Kakashi is shitting on all these people except for fucking Beyond Kaguya. DMS Kakashi is just he is completely shitting on these people. Not even a competition.
DMS Kakashi is
like unless you think Madara's Limbo would fuck up Kakashi, but Kakashi does have 6-path power at that point.
Yeah, he does.
So he should be able to see it, you know what I mean? Or whatever, and either way
he should see it.
Yeah, and he should be able to fuck it up. So yeah, no, like, I'm sorry. That man is crazy. If you actually analyze him, he speed blitzed Kaguya 3 times. He saved Sakura before Sasuke could activate his Rinnegan Hacks teleportation ability. Okay, like he's insanely fast and powerful with that perfect Susanoo. It's insane.
And Kamui Shuriken and all that shit.
Yeah, like he's just crazy. And then with Obito, then give him a Susanoo. You know what I mean? Why not? And then Kami abilities like fucking. You know what I mean? Like he's broken as shit. You know what I mean? Like like fucking. If I'm really being honest, like Obito is also would be above all these people. You know what I mean? If he was able to like have DMS, you know what I mean, perfect Susanoo and use Kami, like it's like, bro, it's like they can't hit him, they can't touch him, and then by just looking at them, he can Kamui them. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck do they do? He can attack. Like, it's just, it's not fair, bro.
Like the thing with DMS is you can attack while you are in the fucking Kamui. So they cannot hit you, but you can.
I want some proof that you can attack while in the Kamui with the DMS. I have never seen that. I have no statements for that. There's nothing for it.
For the Kamui thing, so like when Kage went to go like attack Kakashi and does like the Kamui lightning thing, like basically her things go right through him, and then he immediately just fucking Raikuris her.
Yeah, but that's after he's already gone through them. It's not like they're in him and then he hits.
True.
And even then, like you can Kamui certain parts of your body.
No, true. And that is true. I'm not saying like while he's Kamuing his body. You know what I mean? Like fucking, like he's able, yeah, like what I'm saying is like he can Kamui and then immediately attack right after. So like you're
I think that's true in general. I just think that DMS just makes the Kamui faster and makes that more capable. But,
it's more faster, more capable. 6-pass enhancing it, Susanoo and everything. Like it's just like like fucking at that point they're just crazy fucking powerful. Like it's
the reason why they're below that Madara is because that Madara can cast the Infinite Tsukiyomi, and the Infinite Tsukiyomi still works on people with EMS. Like it took Sasuke with the Shushino to protect even like.
Well, yeah, and then guess what? Kakashi has the Susanoo. He can protect as well.
Yeah, but if he's gonna, I think it's in order for him to go and perch that Madara, he's gonna have to leave it because Madara is gonna be able to break through that Susanoo. He has his own.
Yeah, but that by that logic, Madara could have broken through Sasuke's Susanoo or put all of them in there.
Yeah, I think Sasuke has to
I don't know about all that. What's it called? What I'll say is at least I do think DMS and DMS Kakashi, like DMS Obito, especially if you're making him a prime, you know what I mean? Like with a fucking PS and everything, like, yeah, he's fucking shitting. I mean, then you have Kakashi, he'd just be below Obito, and that'd basically be that for all these guys. Now, when it gets to these alien people, I mean, like, I do think DMS Obito and DMS Kakashi could beat Kaguya, could beat Hamura, could beat, the other Kaguya. Hagiromo, I don't know about him. He's a weird fucking character, so I'll just let that be.
Yeah, the wank on him is insane. Man.
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, I'm not gonna even speak on that. I don't even like. That's all fucking speculation and wanks or this or that, and I don't care for it. So fucking yeah, that's where it basically ends. Now, once we get to here, that's fine. This is where fucking like the Sage mode, you know what I mean, Astra Avatar and the Biju Susanoo, I would definitely say they should be over DMS Kakashi or DMS Obito. Definitely would say that. You know what I mean? They should be. Now, unless you still think they're not too far away from these two, and that they should be able to win because of hacks come when you name it, then whatever. But I do think they should be able to at least be more powerful than those two. That's just me. Also, that's fine with Naruto and Sasuke over the Third Eye Madara because they technically should have won and beat him because of the whole Kaguya bullshit. Now, if Kaguya was never in a thing, then technically he would have killed both of them because that's what it was basically showing. That he became so strong where it's like, oh shit, and it was going to go either way. But then they pulled the fucking...
Kaguya was dumb.
Yep. But then they pulled the whole bullshit with Zetsu and go the whole alien route and Kaguya, you name it, and then fucking that happens and fucking it was confirmed she's way more powerful than Madara, and then they're over here performing very impressively against her and yada yada. So yeah, these two would be over this Madara because of them adding all that shit.
But actually, what I mean by dumb wasn't just a dumb way to end it, but she was actually stupid.
Yeah,
she had Black Zetsu,
He was the one strategizing, and just helping her out.
Yeah.
Like, she was just, she's powerful, like, just brute power, but just dumb as rocks. Yeah. But yeah, so then you have these two, that's fine, yep. They would definitely be able to clap. And then, interesting, so you have this Sasuke over this Naruto. I don't know how I feel about that, bro.
I'm sorry, let's take that back for a full second. I don't think Kaguya is as dumb as rocks. Come on.
What you mean?
See, for sealed away for, like, the entire ninja world. Like, you come back from that, you're gonna be a bit off.
Yeah, she was dead.
No, she was not dead. We went over the field. She was not dead. She was the ghetto Mazo. She was unconscious and split into, like, 9 different things.
Yeah, but Zetsu had to revive her.
Don't make me pull out the numbers again.
Alright, but back to this footage shit. What's it called? These videos are gonna already be as long as they're gonna be. I might have to split this into parts too. Fucking Naruto the Last. He should be able to. I think he would be able to beat this Sasuke. The reason why is, remember, like.
There's another last arc on there.
Yeah, remember, like, this fight, fucking... Oh, so you mean, like, he doesn't have no Cubic Cloak or nothing Sage Mode, just base to him? Like, does he have Susanoo, though?
Yeah, he gets all of his abilities and all that.
And he doesn't?
No, because there's Naruto the Last about. Look,
okay, so if that's the case, then yes, correct. But...
I made it fearless, but I didn't make it.
Okay, so that's fine. Okay, I agree then. Yep, that'd be fine. And then I don't know anything about him, but I know apparently he's like the strongest what we've ever seen so far.
Yep.
So, what's it called? But yeah, that's great.
No doubt about it.
So, overall, my thoughts in this whole tier list, if I had to grade you, at least from my opinion, I'd say you get a B-.
Ouch.
Is there any way I could give me a B+?
Change that Tobirama shit.
I agreed I would, so...
Change that shit. Okay, then you get a B+.
So, Tobirama, Nagato... And
if I'm being generous, then I will say you get an A-. But B+, since you were able to change the Tobirama. But overall, your first grade was a B-. At least you didn't get a C or a D or an F. Because if it was Noodles, it would have been an F.
Because Kagutsu would be at the top.
Exactly.
Right there. Yeah.
That motherfucker be throwing hands of Barry on Mo Naruto.
Everyone on the list is just Kagutsu. Forget it. No one else matters.
Shit. But no, it's not too bad, man. You did pretty good. Deadass. You probably would have done way fucking better than I would have done if I would have actually do it for my first time. So,
yeah.
It's not too bad. So, and I know that's you just kind of just, free balling it, and you probably didn't do a lot of research or homework either. You just kind of went with your memory and shit. So
I did not 1 ounce of research. I just sat
that's
down.
not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad.
No, this is fine. But...
Yeah, it's fine. Nothing unreasonable, nothing too crazy. There are certain things, obviously, you can nitpick or whatever, yada yada, you name it. But that's why I gave you a B-. But fucking, it's pretty good. Eventually, I'm gonna react and do a YouTube reaction video to Swag Kage's fucking. I know he made a whole tier list.
Yeah, it was basically this. Yeah.
Oh, it was basically the same.
Yeah, but Boruto as well, which can also do, but he didn't put it here because for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I haven't seen Boruto. I
also
that's not fair for me to even.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave it at that, and then we'll conclude the video from here. And basically, for Mr. Ken and Loke, say your goodbyes, and say bye bye, guys. Say bye.
Bye bye. Have fun gaming.
All right. But hey, that's going to be it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys enjoyed the video so far, make sure you leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe for more content, subscribe you guys on the channel. Make sure to check out Ken's YouTube as well. He has one as well. Eventually, he might start doing some things on there, but he has I think 1 video or something. But yeah, check him out. Make sure to look him up and let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Do you think his tier list was fucking ass? Do you think it was good? Do you think it was all right? Do you think it was incredible? let me know. And then don't talk shit to me. Talk shit to Ken. So it's not my tier list. So, but yeah. All right. Peace. All right. So what I'm gonna do from here, guys, since I've been with you guys for like hours.
Yeah.
I'm gonna conclude here. Loki, you get some sleep and shit. I also got work. I got work tomorrow at 7 in the fucking morning. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a little break, eat something, probably spend the rest of my time doing some other shit. I might not even fucking game. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? We'll see.
Dude, I'm telling you, I fucking pulled the mother shit right here. I revived 2 times here.
Oh my god.
You are just nowhere.
Yeah.
All right. But I'm gonna head out, guys. It was nice. Peace.
Before you head out, I don't usually do this, but I do want to see what your reaction to my noodles video is. So I am gonna just ask if you'd be willing to watch that and give me your, or if you're willing to do a reaction video, that'd be cool too. But I do want your 2-pin on what I did with noodles. See what you have to say on it.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that one video with the noodles, with you reacting or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did his Cox's downplayed video.
Yeah.
That one.
I see that the problem is why I didn't want to react to that is because like I already reacted to that fucking shit vid, So but since you did do it,
that's fine.
Yeah,
you don't have to react. I just want your opinion overall. If you react, then I can watch as you're doing it. But
okay,
no.
I'll check it. Yeah, I'll check it out, and it doesn't hurt. I might make it a reaction vid or something. We'll see.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not trying to chase or anything, so.
No, you're good. It's not a problem. What's it called? It's just, like I said, that's the only reason why I originally didn't do it. Like, I knew you had the video. I just like, oh, it's that fucking shit video? Like, nah, I'll let him handle him. I'll give it a thought, and if I have the time, I'll do it. I don't mind, so.
That's fair.
Alright, guys. I'm gonna head out. You guys take it easy, get some rest and shit. We'll hang out eventually again soon.
Yep. Have fun gaming if you were even.
I might game. I might. Maybe.
What are you gonna play?
Just probably Star Wars. Start playing that a little bit more for tonight. That's it.
Yeah, there's Fallen Order, right?
Yeah. So.
Alright.
Peace.
Peace, dude.